Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Esports World Cup, Championship Sunday starts right now.
Good morning, good way early morning, Jesus Christ. Oh well, it's not that early of a morning, not compared to Thursday, but we're here, we're somewhat awake. If you guys didn't catch last night's stream, we went pretty far into the night. I think I only got about 4 hours of sleep. So yeah, let's see how we do here today. Oh yeah, it was a long day yesterday, but we made it to champs, man. We got a big ass coffee cup, and yes, it does say Crazy Cat Lady. Because I have cats and
the
maybe
day
I'm a lady.
we've all been waiting for is here. Oh my goodness! The EWC Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Championship Sunday is upon us. What a shot! 4 teams remain, and today their grit and tenacity will be put to the test. They are 100 Thieves, Vancouver Surge,
those two are
Atlanta
my
FaZe,
surprise picks,
and Optic Gaming. Oh, there's the action! Oh! It's a familiar group, one who constantly wage war for the top spot, their powers shifting from competition to competition. Today, they vie for the championship, the highest prestige, and a heaping serving of the $1.8 million prize pool. Who will prove themselves worthy of the trophy? Whose keys will crumble in vain? Who will win it all? Nothing is granted. Everything is earned.
let's go Champ Sundays.
Everybody, and welcome back to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, and we are here for Championship Sunday. Before we dive deep into what you're going to see from Call of Duty, we got to reflect on some history made. And to bring you some of this news, we've got Clayster, the 3-time world champion, and of course, the Emmy-nominated duo of Alley Cat and Nameless. Nameless, I want to start with you. Esports World Cup is not just about one title. It's been 8 weeks of competition, and the Falcons made history yesterday.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Obviously, you have to have multiple different teams in different esports to win that trophy, and they did it. It was an incredible long journey for them, but yesterday it was solidified. Team Falcons are your champions of EWC.
And Alley Cat, you got a chance to go see this bad boy in person. It wasn't just AR. The solid gold was in front of your eyes. What do you think about it?
It was beautiful. It was much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It was shiny, it was gold, but you know, as much as this is the cherry on top of the cake, there was some ice cream involved called 7 million.
Absolutely. And Clayster, we got to talk about how cool this is and how unique it is for some of the clubs, because the CEO of the team was in competition. He made it deep into EAFC.
Yeah, and to see the passion coming out of him as it announced that the Falcons did secure the #1 spot in the club championship, it was getting me a little misty-eyed back here. And I honestly wasn't so familiar with Team Falcons, but seeing the support that him and his team has, look at the crowd going crazy, giving him love, it was amazing to see.
And this was the best, jumping over the barrier to hug the fans. You can
That was
tell
crazy.
It's all
That was
about
actually really
passion.
cool.
He said it in the interview. What does this mean to him? They get to keep the trophy here in Saudi Arabia. A lot of pride. And of course, as Ali mentioned, the $7 million that goes to the top dogs.
And it's crazy to me because he was mid-match. He was also competing at EWC, and you just know the pressure was so high knowing that while he was playing, they were going to solidify that first #1 club place. And you can see everybody here in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh celebrating. Just a huge feat here at EWC.
Congratulations to MS Dosery and the Team Falcons. They are officially our club champions for EWC 2024.
You got to think, after people seeing what Team Falcons have done, they're going to have to make some better rosters next time around for EWC. The competition will only get better. Team Falcons, your champions.
Today, though, on this stage, we are focused on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the final day of competition for this title, and they'll be playing once again in our Amazon Arena play.
Yeah, I would say it's the biggest and best stage we've ever played on. Maybe not in terms of crowd, but in terms of the actual stage, it's amazing what they've done out here in Riyadh, and I can't wait to see if we come back again.
Ali, and of course, there was some serious money for the club championship, but not a bad week of work. $1.8 million on the line. And for the teams that are remaining, they're already guaranteed $160 grand.
You're already taking home some cash, but at this point, you want to get greedy, right? And I'm sick to my stomach thinking about Optic Gaming could go back-to-back and just run the rest of the league's pockets.
Big shout out to everyone who tuned into the watch parties. Those of you on our main channel here who all tuned in for arguably the greatest day we've seen at EWC. So many game 5s. We had 100 Thieves, though, the big surprise for me.
Yeah,
let's take a look at the bracket and highlight how they got here. Clayster, you saw this one coming. You said 100 Thieves were going to take down Toronto Ultra. They're now playing Vancouver for a spot in the grand final.
After their champs run where they did get top 4, I expected it. They kept their team together. They kept that confidence, that camaraderie between themselves, and they're showing it here at the EWC.
I think they're going to make it to the final. I think they're going to take they're going to take down Surge for sure.
Optic versus FaZe, but
I'm going to go LA Thieves.
Kremp and the boys from 100 Thieves. Kremp getting blown
I'm going to go LA
out
Thieves versus the Surge.
But it was his search and destroy that
and I'm going to go
Optic.
Optic versus FaZe. Optic is going to go grand final.
Search, they were down
and
in that map. Kremp rallies back. He was 3-6, ends 10-8 with 3 first bloods. And then on that last map, once again, Kremp and Ghosty take over to get them the win.
That is one of, I think, the best performances we've seen from Kremp. He obviously had a slow start when it came to the respawns, but he showed up where it mattered in the search and destroy. He had been an inconsistent player throughout the season, but he showed up when it mattered. And my favorite thing is once we get to the key crush, like it's a triangle, the triangle of death continues for Toronto Ultra. 100 Thieves beats Toronto, Toronto beats Atlanta, Atlanta beats 100 Thieves. So now with Atlanta's Achilles heel in Toronto being knocked out, they are in a really good spot moving forward.
And a huge shout out to Byron Plumbridge. He played on the Royal Ravens last year. They were the worst team in the league. He comes into 100 Thieves after they're at the bottom of the leaderboard, and he and Kremp are having a huge impact in Riyadh.
Yeah, and we look at the top 4. There's a lot of foreign players not from North American soil, and I love to see this in Call of Duty esports. Nasty coming over. We have people on the other side on Vancouver, Surge from France, and then it's just crazy to me that COD is now global. It's not just focused on North America.
Let's speak about the French speakers because we had Abuza and Brezzy putting on a clinic. It wasn't the cleanest of wins, but they took down Carolina Royal Ravens, and when they got those dubs, they were the clear favorites in each one of those maps.
Yeah, the Vancouver Surge, they've been working on their game. The hardpoint got so much better when they made this roster, but they needed to get better at search. So far throughout this tournament, they have not lost a search and destroy. They have been excellent there, and we saw that put on display yesterday in that game 5. It was a grueling series up against the Royal Ravens. Beans came out going absolutely crazy, so they had to respond, and even with the slow start, you got guys like 04 who can take
A lot of people forget about Hook. The man is a champion across multiple titles after coming over from Halo here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. People are kind of looking at him as an underdog. Hook has been all smiles since he's arrived here in Riyadh.
I don't know what it is about Hook, but there needs to be a documentary made on this guy. He's had an incredible career throughout multiple different games, world championships, and now making a name for himself on Vancouver Surge. I was a little surprised that Surge stuck together after Call of Duty camps because they bombed out there, simply put. But they came out here, they're showing why they stuck together, fighting for a spot in the grand finals, and maybe going for that 150K in their pockets.
And shout out to the rookies, Abuza and 04 in the running for Rookie of the Year after beating Carolina. Abuza said, "That's my Rookie of the Year." 04 says, "That's my key. It's my turn to crush you."
Yeah, 04 is one of the more impressive rookies that we've had in a while, right? Like, he came up so fast. It's like instantly from challengers. He had a great tournament, gets put in a tough spot, and he has to be that aggressive SMG, and he has been excellent with these guys around him. There's no telling what they can do.
If they're going to keep powering forward in the bracket, though, you got to think it's
Abuza
going
in
to
the
come down to the play from Abuza. Can he keep these numbers
respawns
rolling,
1.21 and
Abuza has been
SMD
one of the most consistent
1.29.
players and the most
Damn,
consistent on this team throughout the entirety of the season. And there were times we forgot he even was a rookie because of the plays he would make and how consistent he was. So expect to see him fry today.
We've got another squad to talk about. They're always at the top of the leaderboard every regular season, but Champs has been eluding them. Atlanta FaZe is here to make bank. They want the trophy. They are hungrier than ever, but everyone is saying it. They've had the easiest run. They were in Group D. They bopped 100 Thieves with a hot 3-0. They took care of Boston yesterday with another 3-0. How is Atlanta so consistent, and can they keep it going on a Sunday?
I do think that they can keep it going, and I think what makes them so consistent is that core of Simp, Abizi, and Celium has been together for so long, they don't even need to communicate sometimes. It's like they're telepathic, they know what's going on, they know what each other is thinking, and they all four had to perform because Awakening on Boston Breach was absolutely frying in this series, and they all had to perform to surmount him.
Yeah, I mean, when you do look at their road, though, they're the only team left that hasn't beat a top 4 team. So questions still remain unanswered when you talk about the Atlanta FaZe, and they have an extremely tough matchup up against the world champions in this round. So for these guys, it would rectify their year if they could come in and get this championship. You know they want it.
The coolest part of this match for me was the fact they were down over 100 points in hardpoint. Awakening's dropping 40 bombs, and yet they still claw back in that game behind Draza. He led the way, but it's Celium who gets the honors of crushing the key.
And you know, this is just so fun. You can see all the players watch it, saluting goodbye to the key. Celium puts it in his mouth for some reason like a medal. I don't really agree with that decision, but I do agree with the fact that Draza is going to be your player to watch today. Sunday is usually where we see Atlanta FaZe kind of struggle, and he's got to step up for them if they want the chance to lock it up.
That thing's 55% gold. You just got to test it with the mandibles, you know? All right, let's talk a little bit about another squad to keep eyes on. They had the crowd going wild last night. That, of course, is Optic Gaming.
Let's
Optic
go.
Facing off against Cloud9.
Let's go.
The rematch for World Champs. This time around, a 3-1. Optic taking care of business. Pred, Shotzi, Kenny, everyone contributing to the win last night.
Yeah, you know, this match meant a lot to Optic Gaming, right? Because people were saying, like, the crowd gave them a buff at the last tournament, and here they wanted to showcase they were just better than Cloud9, and that's exactly what we saw put on display. The first 2 maps were not close, Clay.
Not at all. And yeah, sure, they drop a Karachi control, and then the Rio Hardpoint was one of the best maps I think I've seen all year. I love the IGL call out of them at the end to go for that last 7 seconds on the P2. And honestly, I think this matchup that they have against FaZe is a win-win for them. It's either, you know, they win against FaZe again, or FaZe couldn't do it at Champs. So they're chilling, I think. I think they're hanging out. I think they want the win, though.
And you just look across the board, this was an even playing field. Everyone contributing, everyone getting some hill time in that final game 4. Is this the gameplay you want to see continue on a championship Sunday?
Absolutely, and I mean, we have to talk about Kenny. I mean, Dashy obviously had some very highlight plays yesterday to make sure Cloud9 didn't have an opportunity to crawl their way back in. Shotzi and Pred doing SMG things, but Kenny, once added to this roster, they got their first chip in years. Like, I don't think we talk about him and the impact he's had on this squad enough, but of course, the final key crush of the night in the orange jersey, it's gonna be Pred. And what about that weird smirk there at the end, Dan?
There it is.
I mean, like, who does that, man? And then waves the camera with another grin. Come on.
I love Pred. They were rocking the EWC orange, and of course, we want to see what they're going to be wearing today. Is it the
Kenny with a
championship whites? Do they have a new jersey?
1.28,
We also
damage
want to see, can
16,000,
Kenny keep these
slaying
numbers up?
rating
A 101.8
101.8.
against the world
Jesus.
championship opponent in Cloud9. That's a hell of a job done.
Follow-up question, is Kenny gonna wear a bandana for Championship Sunday? What color is that one gonna
Let's go.
That fade's been so clean. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't cover that up. You can't cover that up. There's been a lot of intense moments, several Game 5s on day 3, and we caught the best reactions. Let's take a look at your Pepsi top reactions.
There's gotta be a pack house, man. Freaking Optic FaZe. The Classico tonight, or this morning, I guess, because it's morning for us. Dude, I'm trying to get some
There
energy here
is
on
the
me,
emotion
but
poured
God,
out
I'm
on the
so
stage,
tired.
the elation, the disappointment today. 2 more teams are going out early, and we have to see how it's all shaping up in the bracket here. Optic Gaming, if they're able to win back-to-back tournaments at Worlds and now here at EWC, without a doubt, has had the hardest run.
Absolutely. They've been playing top teams throughout it. I mean, we look at this upper bracket. They had to beat Cloud9, it was a Champs Grand Finals rematch. And now they're going up against their Kryptonite in Atlanta FaZe, which has been a tough matchup for them, Matt.
I mean, people have won back-to-back majors. People have won a major into COD Champs. Who has won a COD Champs into the biggest international event of all time? Nobody. This would be an incredible feat for them. Truly one of a kind, and Optic, you know they want it.
And of course, on the bottom half of that bracket, it was Vancouver Surge winning
The
their
Vancouver
group, sending
Canucks.
Cloud9 to
That
the
was
top
insane.
half.
That was a good
They
match,
get
yeah.
rewarded after winning
That
over
was
Carolina
great.
Royal Ravens. They have to take on 100 Thieves, who bounced one of our big 4 in Toronto Ultra just 1 day ago. Here's a look at the schedule. Screenshot it because it's bright and early on the East Coast, 10 a.m. We, of course, are going to see Optic versus FaZe
It's
on the
10
first
a.m.
battle.
in freaking East Coast?
E-Classico, we
Jesus.
call it nowadays. And
It's
Clay,
8
let's start
a.m. over
with
here in
Atlanta
the
FaZe.
freaking
Everyone knows
Mountain
Optic,
Standard
but
Time.
no one has been singing the praise of Atlanta FaZe. Why? They haven't raised a trophy since Major 2.
Yeah, and a lot of people keep criticizing us for calling them one of the best teams in the game because they did bow out of champs early, but you can't count FaZe out. These guys on the other side,
they're so
just
good.
so talented. They're so put together, and I think they're so well practiced. It's
They
going to
have
be a
the
tough
icy
matchup
for
Optic.
sure.
Allie, for any of the newcomers coming over to Call of Duty, please break down this trio on Atlanta FaZe and their X Factor.
Yeah, of course. Simp, BZ, and Celium have been together for years now. But on the other side, for Optic Gaming, they had to kind of shift their roster because their main superstar in Scump had retired, right? So they bring in Kenny, they bring in Pred, and now this roster is winning championships. The issue, though, is this matchup is not the best for them on the year. 1-6 versus Atlanta FaZe. The last time they beat them was Major
Champs
3
what? Let's
months
go.
ago in an elimination final.
Allie, they are wearing those championship whites.
Got it.
And we don't see a bandana on Kenny yet.
Nope.
Maybe
I
it's
don't
going to
know
come
if
out
I
when he
like
comes on
that.
stage.
But I know when he's got in them headphones, and it's some A-Boogie. Dashi is ready for today. If you know, you know. And to Allie's point, yes, Optic have struggled up against Atlanta FaZe. It's the one top team that has had their number 15-5 in the respawns. There's no game mode where Optic have had the edge up against Atlanta.
Clay, when you look at this Atlanta roster, who is going to be the biggest threat to Optic? Who can get in their way of back-to-back championships?
You got to talk about Abizi. He's the spearhead of FaZe, and he's the one that's going in first. He's popping those multi-kills. He's literally imposing his will on the enemy. I need to see a great series out of Abizi to see them take away this match.
And for Atlanta FaZe, this is everything, right? They come into this, they're going up against Optic Gaming, a tale as old as time, and they know they have the edge. Like I said, 1-6 on the season. And Atlanta, they're undefeated right now when it comes to EWC. Sip and Cell, personally, love this matchup. They're both rocking a 1.12 and a 1.15. And as well for Atlanta, like, they come into the series, they have to play these guys all the time. So Atlanta, they're feeling confident. You look at the maps and modes. The only thing I have to say about this is I don't love that Optic Gaming gave Atlanta FaZe the invasion control. They're not only stronger in defense by 20%, but they're 21-5 on the season.
You know what it feels like with the numbers and all the stats stuff when you look at this matchup? In the offseason, when Atlanta FaZe, last year they got smoked by Optic all year long. And the approach to the offseason was, let's get Draza, let's play at a pace that Optic cannot keep up with. And you could see the attention to detail that they've had. Simp and selling so much success in the respawns up against them, they'll need it once again.
Did you say 21-5 on map 3?
Yes.
This is
That's absurd.
ridiculous numbers. Way too consistent is Atlanta FaZe, but they haven't performed on a championship Sunday. We'll find out if they can do it, and we want to know, how do you see this one going down? Head on over to stcplay.gg and get your predictions in right now. Clayster,
All right,
you were
I
the
don't know if
Oracle
Kenny
yesterday.
will be
You called
wearing
100 Thieves.
his
Who are you calling here
bandana,
to kick
but
off
I
our
will be
semifinal?
wearing my
during COD
bandana
Champs,
here this
I
morning.
voted against Optic. During this entire
And,
cup, I voted against Optic. I'm doing it again. We're going Atlanta FaZe, baby.
Allie, you got
Here we go.
5 seconds. What do you got?
If you asked me this morning, I would have said Optic, but after I took my notes, I'm going Atlanta FaZe. Their Achilles heel is gone.
Have y'all watched Call of Duty the last couple of weeks?
What are you saying?
Because I have, and Optic's got this. I'm sorry, they're winning.
Let's go to the Amazon stage.
Let's go. Let's go Optic. Let's go Optic. Again, Kenny may not be wearing his bandana right now, but, well, we'll see. We'll see here in a second. But I will be wearing my bandana. I don't have an Optic jersey, which is fine. but I will be representing with the green up here. Ugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome from Amazon Arena in Bolivar City, the heart of Riyadh. To whom does this glory belong? In our fourth and final day of the Modern Warfare 3, we are here to find out at the Esports World Cup. I'm your host, Kiali, alongside the amazing Barney Bunks.
The end is in sight. The moment. The trophy. $1.8 million.
Ali, how's it going? Good morning.
So please join me in welcoming your first
afternoon,
to the main
night
stage.
for you.
Bitter rivals since
I
the
remember
dawn of
correctly.
Call of Duty Esports. It is Optic Gaming and Atlanta FaZe.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, no bandana, no Kenny. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, I'm a little tired.
Opponents, rivals,
I only had about
titans,
what,
here
4 hours
once
of sleep,
again
I think.
To prove themselves the dominant
Because
force.
I had
It
to
is your
catch, you know,
Clasico.
this game,
Teams,
the
place your
Clasico
keys.
versus, you know,
One of these titans will
Optic
have a
versus
chance to
Atlanta
place their
FaZe.
key into the trophy,
One of the
while
best
other has to see it
rivalries in
crushed and join
esports
the
history.
graveyards of the keys.
Two teams steeped in history, success, and legacy. On the one hand, we have the highest ranked team in the Pro League going up against the current world champions. Let's set this stage ablaze, boys. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I know that I got your message before. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Thank you for the sub.
Welcome back to Riyadh, and there is no match more fitting.
There's one more account. It's okay, man. You don't have to do that. I really appreciate you just being here and being with your main account.
Optic looking to go back to back in world international events, but FaZe hasn't dropped the map yet.
Yeah, FaZe are
That
undefeated.
is
you heard
crazy
the
for
touch on
sure.
it. It's basically been a fairly easy road for them. You get taken care of. I mean, you take care of the 100 Thieves players, clean 3-0. Then you wake up yesterday, you got to spawn up against Boston Breach. You have Celium doing whatever he wants, clutching 1v3s, a clean 3-0. So they have a flawless map count at EWC, sitting at 9-0. But this is going to be their first true test.
6-1 record against
in terms of how this matchup has gone,
Optic
in this
Gaming
year
and
also,
Modern
by the way,
Warfare
last year,
3.
it
That
has
is
been dominated by
insane.
FaZe. Thing is, last time they met, that was not the case. Optic found their first major win, and that may have sparked the run that they've gone on the last couple of months.
Oh, yeah, because that was all the way back at Major 3. They were able to take them down in the elimination final. So when you get to that series, finally getting over that hump, because it was Atlanta FaZe in 6 straight series, they were getting better, getting the better of the green wall. But now, once you get over that hump, you were able to walk away with that championship there. So now you stand in front of them again. Can you make it a repeat?
Without the question. And I think the thing about it was there were questions about this Optic team, not about how long was that run going to be, but on top of that, would they find the same energy in a neutral environment where there isn't as much of a crowd?
What's up, man?
And so far,
Oh,
I think
crap.
they've not just met, but they've
I'm
surpassed
such
the
an
eye
idiot.
test in terms
But
of them
hey,
being caliber and ready
you know,
for another championship.
Without
you'll
question,
eventually
man.
be
You
a
got
man,
tested
right?
yesterday. You go up against
Or
a team
it's
that
up to
faced
you, you
all
know.
the way in the grind finals
Oh,
at COD
but-
Champs in Cloud9, and you took care of them with ease.
Anyways,
So Optic
I'm
to-
tired
Optic
right now.
game,
I don't
they're
know
looking
even know what I'm
phenomenal
saying,
far at
so
EWC,
don't mind
but there's
me.
nothing better
I only
than
have 4
potentially
hours
being
of
the
sleep,
first team
so
to ever do something here at the first round.
I'm a
at
little
Esports
delusional
World
right
Cup.
now,
You want to
apparently.
be the team to be the first one to walk away with that championship.
Well, inject this immediately into my veins. I think for some of you out there in the Western world, that's going to be right next to the IV that's pumping coffee into it.
Right
so
here,
why
yep.
not? let a little bit of fuel get on in.
Here's my coffee cup. Honestly, I just finished it, to be honest.
Hard point as well. We're not starting slow here, friends. We're going to jump right on into the action and see how hot these teams really are.
And this is going to be mixy, man. Obviously, Atlanta FaZe, they came in with the game plan. They said, we're getting rid of 6-star everything.
You're from
not gonna
India.
Get a
Nice. That's awesome.
And the mind games that they played for that map number 4 in Subbase is definitely going to catch Optic Gaming off guard. But here we go into the map number 1. Karachi.
All right, let's go,
Let's get it on. Let's get it on, brother. It's going to be Optic in, of course, the green.
Jesus.
FaZe in their natural white as a easy over the top of the
I'm in the United States.
First contact. Good high ground
I'm in the U.S.
for Optic, leading to some very early time.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression through the middle of the map. They find the initial couple of kills, so they're still soaking up this time. You have control of top 3. The rest of the players from Atlanta FaZe realizing we have to apply this pressure here, but Optic Gaming
kind of quiet right now, actually.
And you've already got Pred hitting a bit of a route over, through, and around the middle of the map. Now putting some focus for FaZe to have to worry about the scrap and win the rotation to new. And Pred has gone completely unguarded. Simp completely surprised over the top of the jump wall. Pred just being a menace to the backside of the spawns for FaZe while they still earn every single second on one.
And that's going to be 2 players from Atlanta FaZe already spawning across the map. So now with Beezy, the last man standing in towards the cafeteria, he is going to fall.
Damn.
And that is a flawless start to this hard point. You're able to get 31 seconds at the P1. You win the rotation over towards new. Now you can continuously run up that score.
Well, now you've got an opportunity for Optic to just be very comfortable as well in front, especially with Kenny finding the first kill. Shotzi in the corner, not stunned.
No way, what?
I mean, that is making direct eye contact with the stun grenade and just ego
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Well, you know, I'm just trying to bring some entertainment here, so I'm glad that I was able to make your list, but
they cannot get close towards this P2.
Oh,
They're trading back and forth, and unfortunately, we are still in the game. I don't know.
It looks like the players are still in. It may just be our initial codcasters, so hopefully we get a perspective swap to where we can keep on board with it, because at the moment, Optic are up big. And here we go. Right back into it. 68 plays 0. FaZe from the front. Able to find a little bit of success here on this late break, but more importantly, they do have the rotation.
I was like, did the game break again?
And at least you have one player still contesting at this old hard point. BZ making it very difficult for them to even work their way over towards that red side, but you take care of him, and now Atlanta FaZe down by a majority of this time. You need a full 60 here to get yourself back in the game.
If we're not here to look at the chat and talk to you guys, what are we doing, right? And being a nice guy, that's just me. I try, you know, like.
Or maybe not.
But I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're you know, you're doing well. But
and this is what Optic did yesterday tremendously.
We're just here to hang out, to chill, and to act in a groovy way, I guess.
They are not ready for this day. Optic Gaming, they are just swinging on all cylinders.
Everyone sitting positive, nearly double positive actually for just about everybody, as the crowd here in Riyadh starts to light up the comms here in the venue. And a very familiar chant starts to take over. I'm sure FaZe fans all over not happy to hear that so early on, as Optic get the break and only allow 6 seconds or so for FaZe to get on P3.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe, they tend to struggle on Championship Sundays.
You have a chat on? No way, that's awesome. What do you play?
Now you're forced to make up a lot of this time
at
P4,
fun?
which is not going to be very successful, because we know this hill is all about the contest, trying to keep them off as much as you possibly can.
You have to feel like if you're FaZe, we need to get 20 seconds plus here just to try to get something going. Not an easy premise to start to build, but at the moment, FaZe are at least finding some success holding around the front side of the hard point.
Troll face edits?
What
does that mean?
It's really just a 1v2. Draza didn't have any support at all because everyone's so worried on where Shotzi's gone.
Seems like right now Atlanta FaZe are playing a little bit scared. Everybody's sitting on pre-aims, and Optic Gaming are flying entirely around the map. They find the initial 2 kills, but something is happening.
Yeah.
What happened?
That is tough.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the player cams, every time we were swapping to a FaZe member, it looked like there was at least someone turning around and trying to talk to one of the reps. So Optic are still locked in and going, but FaZe have apparently had some issues. So we'll see how things unfold. You can see that Optic is still playing this one through at the moment, but one of the FaZe members on the side looks like Draza is already out of the picture, and there are questions, I think, about Abizi, because that was the one I saw his perspective. He was looking behind talking to the ref while they're in the middle of that P4.
Yeah, obviously in a 3v4 scenario,
There's a Starman
not going to find
at
a lot
it?
of success if you are Atlanta, but
what does that mean?
that's got to be a tough pill to swallow right there if you are Optic. You came out of the gates ready to rock and roll. You were dominating around that mid P1, successful rotation over towards P2, and then an instant break on P3.
What happened?
We figure out what the hell happened, but
yeah.
That's got to be tough.
Dude,
Yeah, it
come
definitely felt like there was
on.
something off about how that match started. Not just saying because the score was so lopsided, but like I said, looking at the player cams, it did look like there were a couple of FaZe members that were trying to grab the attention of the refs. So we are hearing from production that there will be a full reset here in map number 1.
Reset?
Looks like Pred's not particularly pleased about that, but I think the thing about it is, you know, obviously there's been a lot of conversation around the topic over the last 48 hours, is you can't let that mentally stir if you're sitting on the stage right now. You just got to be like, hey, we're beating the heck out of these guys. Let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, you just came out firing. You got to continue to have that
some
same
videos?
exact mentality.
Okay.
Keep
I'll
that
check that out
energy
later.
up. Obviously, the restart is not ideal, but
I have to check it after stream.
make sure the game is at least in the fair playing territory.
Yeah.
So eventually, when we get back into it, we'll be ready to rock and roll in that map number 1.
Yeah, I might have to check that later because I still don't know what you're talking about with that.
FaZe so far throughout this weekend, Celium is sitting at the #1 overall KD at EWC. This is specifically about their hardpoint game. 1.34 for both of your ARs. They are shutting down those lanes single-handedly.
No problem.
Well, we were sitting here just on the desk prepping up. You even pointed out that it's not just the fact that Celium's pulling the top KD. He's actually finding some of the most in overall engagements for his squad. So it's not just him holding down a lane, finding hardpoint time, and winning 1v1s. He's getting into the mix and succeeding there as well.
It's because after the performance at Champs, getting a top 6, everybody's
insane.
looking like, what the hell is going on with this FaZe roster? And when you're looking at Celium, he tends to play a little bit slow at times. And it looks like he took all that criticism. He came
I got a little bit of water
ESWC
here.
tournament
Just
with
stay
a different mindset.
hydrated.
And he has more kills than Draza, 12 less kills than Ibiza, and you know how fast Ibiza plays.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of even see it here just looking at the ARs overall. Their kills per 10 minutes is actually up there with a lot of the SMGs. So they're finding the engagements and they're coming out on top more often than not. And a 1.34 for both of them is unreal to think about, especially considering that, you know, later down the road in this series, we will see probably.
I don't even know what the hell happened there.
So you're looking at both those.
But I
two
guess we're gonna
ARs
get
to
a
take
full
control there
reset and
had circle when we got the maps and modes in, because you weren't really seeing Atlanta FaZe all throughout the season play sub-base. They played it in the beginning of the year. They were awful at the map, so they decided to be like, okay, this is going to be our auto veto. But then you put in practice towards the very end of the year to prepare yourself for moments like this. Optic are sitting at a 13-2 record on that map. You weren't expecting Atlanta FaZe to actually pick sub-base in map number 4, so obviously they got something stirring in the pot.
And that's the thing is, like, we're long gone away from the conversations of FaZe are playing sub-base to work on their map pool.
Yeah, I mean, last day.
But the thing about it was, and I think the desk had brought this up at one point in time when we started to see sub-base here this weekend, was
but here we are,
map that FaZe has
supporting
good on in the
the boys of Optic
and of course the
bright and early.
It just felt like, okay,
with only
this
4
is something you can
hours
put
of
into
sleep.
the arsenal. It does feel a little odd to pull it out here versus Optic, but like you said, they've got to have something on the cooker here.
And I think the game plan was to not allow the SMGs to start roaming around the way that Optic
It's
loves
rough,
to
man.
do.
I honestly, that is the first time I've done that. At least in a while, you know, like having a 7-hour gameplay going into, you know, early morning. It's like almost 2:30 in the morning when we stopped playing last night.
We want to put teams on X map or Y map to avoid their SMG line.
So
or
it's
play ARs. And now all of a sudden it feels like
it's rough, man.
You've got FaZe essentially considering the same respect territory here, especially looking at the entirety of this map set, because a high-rise search and invasion
You were
control,
watching
another
TV.
sub-base hardpoint,
See,
and
like
then
for me,
invasion
like
search.
if I
So
watch
it's like
TV
wide
and go
open,
into
long
that
AR
late,
dominant
like
map.
if I go into like really early
unfold
morning,
what we've already
I
seen in the
can't.
stats,
I
which is
always fall
Cell
asleep.
and
But if
Draza
I'm
having
playing,
good
if I'm
performances
doing
this weekend.
something,
And that
you know,
was the
I'm
discussion
gonna
of
stay
why
awake.
Draza
You
into
know.
this lineup, because all of last season, Optic were destroying Atlanta every single time that they matched up. So they pick up a player like Draza to keep up with that pace. And ever since then, it's 6-1 this year in favor of Atlanta FaZe, dominating in the respawns. 9-4 overall in the hard points, 6-1 in the controls. The S&Ds could be up in the air, sitting at 6-4 overall. But Atlanta FaZe now, this season, have had their number.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's an
This is
early
gonna feel like a very
tournament, you
different
know.
series
Oh, yeah.
compared to the ones we'd seen previously.
Because they're world champions.
Well, there's
they're coming
that.
in with that delusional confidence, like, we are the best. You guys got to take us down.
Well, I think the thing on top of that is there's no 6-star, there's no Vista, there's no Rio. I mean, those were some of the most played maps, depending on what mode you want to look at, between these two teams all year long. So this feels like a very fresh take in terms of how they want to square up today.
Yeah, if you talk about the SSDs that they played all season, this basically been high-rise and invasion in every single series. One time was a slip-up where they throw in a Rio, but they're going right back to the bread and butters. They have played each other multiple times on all of these maps.
Yeah.
Just who's going to perform better on the day.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, man. It really will be. It looks like we are loading back in. Yep, and that's it. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
The fresh restart. Hopefully there are no more connection issues, so we can just get the full value of these two teams duking it out with one another. Similar routes for both squads.
Hopefully no more resets.
Opener, but again, Optic holds control of top third, and that's enough for them to clean up the following 3 kills.
Yeah, restart ain't going to change nothing. Optic Gaming are able to find every single kill. Last player alive is going to be Celium, but just going to put down a couple shots, try to open up an avenue of attack for his teammates to apply pressure on it. But it's still Optic Gaming soaking up this P1 time.
Yeah,
those good shots, yeah, for sure.
Red, Simp able to follow up as well, keeps the hard point neutral. But again, this top third position, oh mercy. You put Draza or Dashy up here, both you assume will dominate. And that has been the case for Dashy, off to a 4-0 start and now working on rotation.
Yeah, now with only 10 seconds left, Atlanta are forced to cut their losses, set up off that rotation over towards Red, because there's a lot of pressure from Optic Gaming.
They can't, no, they have to keep going, man.
Shotzi, Kenny's able to find that trade, but Dashy on 5 in a row.
They're litty.
Wow, clean shots over to the back bar, heady onto Celium. Simp finds the trade, but it comes at the cost of the cruise missile and the rotation.
Yeah, you have to be litty playing this game. You have to be tweaking to be able to keep up with people, because this game is so fast, man.
Also finds one at Adraza, and there is no break here for FaZe.
And this is basically the same exact thing before the restart. Optic Gaming just coming out swinging, this time with a cruise missile to their name. Pred was 4-0. He's already 4-0 again, making it 5 onto Simp. He's ready for the pressure through the back alley, and with only 30 seconds left, Atlanta are forced to hit this rotation. You cannot commit for this junk time here.
We could argue
are we gonna get
that
to
the second reset is actually better for Optic than it was the first time. They get essentially a full 60 on P2, and they've got members over towards 3, so no requirement for the break, and there are no kills to speak of anywhere for FaZe.
This feels nice. This is good. This is good.
And 1-4 for BZ,
Let's go.
Draza, and Cell.
So now we're up by 60
We're
points.
doing
We
great.
got 2 cruise missiles this time around to go with it.
Oh my God.
And we were in the rotation over towards P3, so the scoreline might be the same exact thing. As now Optic Gaming continuously running it up. You are forcing Atlanta FaZe to work their way through Coop. Celium trying to challenge through the middle of the map, but Dashy's shooting like that.
Yes, it is actually.
Optic are just dominating.
It is. But FaZe Rug is a player for FaZe. But FaZe is one of the oldest orgs in Call of Duty. FaZe FaZe and Optic, they're one of the oldest.
Attacking from one single angle, and Optic Gaming know where the
yeah, they're one of the oldest
in.
organizations in Call of Duty.
2 for 1 there in that scenario, and now with only 15 seconds left with the lead,
and this is like one of the most sort of friggin' rivalries, one of the biggest rivalries in Call of Duty. Optic Gaming versus FaZe has been going for, at this point, decades. They've been playing each other since like 2006.
Legitimately the most beautiful Karachi hardpoint we've ever seen, and go figure it's Optic versus FaZe in World Championship form.
That's insane, because this is a strong map for Atlanta FaZe. They have a 14-4 overall record here. Usually don't get caught slipping, because Optic Gaming do not prefer to play a map like Karachi. But to start off, you already got 2 cruise missiles. Atlanta FaZe now trying to soak up time here at P4, but it's not going to be successful, as Optic are able to find another 3, almost 4 in the feed.
I mean, what do you talk about here? I mean, legitimately, this is just a mismatch. Cell from the back, try to deal with the trophy system and the rest of the Optic members in the hardpoint, but there's just no good fights to take. And it's another 3-for-1 feed. I mean, we can't even break this down. This is just sit back, relax, and watch Optic dominate.
And now Optic Gaming are going to walk away with that final 20 seconds. And keep in mind, they still got 2 cruise missiles to work with. So if you are Atlanta FaZe, you hit that early rotation. You're going to need this time here at P5 to get yourself back into the game. But this is where you're going to see Optic.
Are we going to see
SMGs hit
yep, here we go. Here comes the cruise missile.
Perfect. They take out Cell over towards that front side of Red. This should deal with the player inside the point, so open it goes. And again, look at the crossing angle from Fred. He's able to stop the reinforcements from finding a way back into the hill. That is absolutely perfect. Only 1 player drops, and Optic again find a quick break.
It does not get any better than this for the green wall.
Peter, Peter, what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming in and subscribing here to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the watch party. I'm trying to bring some energy here. I mean, right now, Optic completely dominating. This has been fantastic. I only have about 4 hours of sleep here. We're trying to keep the energy. But right now, we're just straight chilling. Straight chilling. Optic completely dominating. So we're just chilling right now.
This does not look like the same face that we saw all weekend.
Yeah, they did not wake up yet. Remember, they were not actually tested so far this weekend versus the top 4 team that we had throughout the entire season. Their best win was versus 100 Thieves, and they took care of them with ease, but this is a different kind of animal in Optic Gaming. They're already up by 100 points. They're soaking up this
not
one
you,
time again.
Ellie.
This time Sip is trying to hold down that top 3 positioning, but as soon as he finds one, the trade comes in, and now Dash on 6, making 7
Jesus Christ, Brucey with the cruise missiles.
Like that.
Ooh,
He's not gonna miss.
Brucey.
21-7, kill number 22
Come on,
around
come
the
on,
corner. What?
come on.
Are we kidding?
Are we seeing Bruce level 99?
38, and it's not getting any better for FaZe.
Yeah, this ain't even close. Like, I don't know if Atlanta FaZe got their monitors on or something. Guns are not working. The teamwork is obviously not there.
The timing, the timing.
With this game, as they're going to put themselves in a position off the rotation over towards new. Now they still have 2 cruise missiles to work with just in case Atlanta find a little bit of success in that slaying department, but they're breaching that 180-point mark and they continue going up.
This is wild. I mean,
oh, did we reach 130? Let's go. Let's go.
They're combining for 16 and 30 right now, but FaZe desperately
70 more for 200.
200.
200. What should we do for 200 subs, huh? We should do something for 200 subs. That should be fun. Oh, Pred. Oh, Pred. Pred completely destroying. Oh, man. You can hear the Optic chants in their comms. That's hilarious. I love that. The special live stream, I guess. For sure. We can do a special live stream.
Everyone guarantee one. I don't have a trophy. I'm pitching him. I said, listen, I'm playing deep. He's streak. Try to get to time, bro.
Yeah, I'm mid lane.
This might be a while, but if we ever get to 1,000 views or 1,000 subs, we might do like a 24-hour stream. Although I don't think I'd be able to do that. To be honest.
In the back. Back. Pitch your back.
I don't think I could ever do a 24-hour stream.
He's still just spawn killing. Second. 1 second as well.
I need my beauty sleep, as you guys can tell right now.
I'm trying to keep this white. That's a good time. Hey, getting in the back, 1 shot, and on time.
I'm pitching Coop.
Third. Went to the back.
AG
1 shot on time. I spawn bridge. AG in the hallway. Got me.
Nice, good one.
AG. And CB behind the hill. Last guy. Behind the hill. I'm getting shot.
Legitimately, Jay, I think the biggest takeaway I just had right there is the constant comms of someone's still spawn killing. No one's winning their ones anywhere on the map for FaZe.
Okay, and I don't hear any energy on the side of Atlanta FaZe.
Oh, it's all right, man. Don't worry about it.
200 points. You're not going to be having a good time. And Optic Gaming continues.
Don't worry about it, Ali.
Maybe
Maybe they just want to hang out, you know? They just want to see what we're talking about. It's all good.
Into this game, but still, the kill feed lighting up green. Finally, Selim and Sip are able to catch a couple, but it's still Optic soaking up that time.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with
He probably is, you know?
So, I mean, trying to paint a silver linings, but I don't even think Bob Ross has that shade of silver in his palette.
Like kind of like how you said, you know, it's difficult to type on a TV.
Here is Optic are going to default for playing for rotation, so they're going to get another 20 of scrap unless Shotzzy clears this out himself.
No pressure to talk.
He does drop. Now a chance for FaZe to work on rotation.
Yeah, FaZe got to work, and they got to work quickly. And keep in mind, Optic still have a cruise missile in their back pocket. They only need 31 seconds to close out this map number 1. Not finding a couple kills off the rotation, so
Probably
not. An
not.
opportunity, but
You're right. They can't comment that.
And now you have a free pinch from Shotzi.
Dashing good for the opener.
Oh.
Not going to get the second, but lots of damage tallied. Means that Kenny can get his
There's
trade,
no
and then
option
the
for
turn
that.
back around,
Yeah.
Gets the read on Cell's pinch.
You're right.
This is how the game likely comes to an end. And look how Optic are spawning phase so far across the map. They've got every bit of contest they could possibly need for the final 15.
And this is not good if you are Atlanta FaZe. Not the way you wanted to start your championship Sunday. And here's when you let all the streets start to rain. Give the call out to your teammates. Realize where the pressure is coming from. Everybody to iron up. Final 5 seconds.
And it's going to have to be onto a BZ.
Oh.
1v1, not one. I mean, that's it.
That's insane.
Individual 1v1.
I was stressing, to be honest, this morning a little bit because I was like, ooh, this is going to be a tight match. This is going to...
No, we're going to do it this time a little bit better. They earn early cruise missiles. They find early breaks. They're winning a majority of those rotations. And Atlanta
that shit was the reset.
Oh my That's all it came down to. Everything that Optic Gaming did there worked out to perfection. That's probably the best we've ever seen Karate Off-Wood be played.
Full value, winning
Oh my god, that's great.
That
shit is freaking hilarious. That shit's like reset.
I mean, I don't.
Oh my god.
Jay, this is El Clasico on a championship Sunday, and Optic just
How many more are there?
Freaking Point Club.
So they're playing a best of 5 match. So they can play up to 5 games or 5 maps from Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, and Control. Starting with Hardpoint right now, the one that we just saw, we're gonna go into Search and Destroy, and then Jesus Christ, and then Control for the 3rd, another Hardpoint for the 4th, and then Search and Destroy for the 5th and last game.
Optic getting absolutely fiery.
No frontline at all for sure.
This is just map number 1. We've seen this series go a long way, and I think the composure is definitely going to be something that both teams will have to make sure they keep in the back of their mind, because this one could get sweaty quick. But to start, anything but for Optic. I mean, it's legitimately perfect. Hardpoint, everything felt good. The way they use even cruise missiles was perfectly efficient. Everything just came out in favor of the green wall, and that's a heck of a way to get some momentum going for map 2.
When the hell have we ever seen Atlanta FaZe get a 100-point club in a Hardpoint?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I need to go back and look at that, because I don't think it's
for
ever
sure.
happened. Optic Gaming just came out and just did everything that they wanted. We're challenging gunfights. We're setting up crossfires. We're finding the more effective trades. And even though Simp was able to find a couple kills here and there, it don't matter. The green wall got more players on the right side of the map. And they just absolutely put the beat down on Atlanta in that map number 1. Now can you continue that into a high-rise Search and Destroy, where we have watched Optic Gaming play it this weekend. They played it versus Carolina, and they ended up losing it all the way in around 11. But I think my main focus, if you are Optic Gaming, when you have that objective control, we have to work this bomb down, because when you give Atlanta a lot of time around the map, that's when they take the map away from you and throw a whole lot of different looks at you.
Jay, I'm just looking over the course of some of the stats that I have in front of me, and looking at the history, outside of Subbase, there are
You're a little bit behind. I'm so sorry, man.
Atlanta FaZe have not accrued more than 200 points.
That's insane, man.
The lowest
reset your router, reset. Like Dashy said, reset.
And that was back during Major 1. So this isn't just a beatdown. This is an embarrassment, considering that there's only been 3 other times outside of Subbase that they haven't gotten past the 200-point mark, let alone the 100-point club. I know my boy Turtle's already looking through all of his notes to figure out the last time FaZe got 100-point club.
As you take a look at the maps and modes,
that was
obviously
brutal.
The high-rise Search and Destroy
that was insane.
coming up next, but
92 to 250.
They usually don't find a lot of success versus this Atlanta roster in hard points. But when you come out like that, you got to carry that momentum into the Search and Destroy. Continue to play confident, but also make sure you're playing super smart. Because Atlanta FaZe, they can take advantage, especially in this map mode.
Absolutely the case. But again, last time these two teams had played, this map was in the pool, and it was an Optic win, 6-3. So we'll see if that history has anything left for us to possibly dig further into. But I think you're absolutely right to point out the objective focus. It's been criticized. It's been a byproduct of that long S&D losing streak that they were on in Major 4 quals, but that seems to have been mostly corrected as we jump into round number 1. Optic on the attack.
Look at how aggressive Shotzi is getting. Gonna put himself in this angle that he found a lot of success at the last tournament, but FaZe do their homework. They strike for the first 2, and now it's Pred. And his teammate Dashy left to clutch on up.
Surely, Pred doesn't get out of here by himself alone. And we'll just
Oh,
what did I say? There we go.
almost-
BC's on a
he
crossing
almost got
angle.
away.
He will eventually finalize
Okay,
the kill,
okay.
leaving it now just down
That was a
to
quick
Dashy for
round.
1v3.
Not too bad.
Bomb is close by, but it is in the underground, which is not going to be easy for Dashy to collect, especially for FaZe's position.
He's going to check the right corner. No,
nice.
at least the first kill onto BZ. Also able to walk away with his life.
Are we going to see another
Most close
1v3?
players that we had on the season now in the
1v3?
with 35
Come on.
seconds to go.
Come on, Dashy.
With that bomb being
You've
down
done it
towards
before.
bottom pit, he's trying to get early info
You've
of
done
where
it
the hell
before.
the rest of the Atlanta FaZe players are, so he can try to make that play.
Oh!
He has some idea where Draza's positioned because there were a couple of shots from Draza over towards these A windows. And now the follow-up tags will also alert him that there's someone nearby, but he does not expect Cell to be up top on the helipad. So no crazy antics in round number one. Quick opening first bloods for FaZe. I think a lot of that is just doing your homework and knowing that shots is going to hit that route to the top side of that wall almost every single offense.
Yeah, and they put basically all their reinforcements over towards B Street. They're realizing, okay, Optic like to work on this side of the map. Shotzi's going to work his way through bottom pit. So let's just 3-stack it on this side of the map. They find the initial 2 kills. Even with Pred finding that trade, it turns into a 1v3.
It could also be me. Like if it's skipping, it could also be me. Because my camera is old,
it was with
and so it glitches here and there.
This time. So that position may not be as abused as we saw Optic use in previous events. Abizi, quick routes. However, does he expect that Shotzi's playing in a bit of a peculiar spot of his own? Meanwhile,
yeah, so you know, it doesn't have to be your
window to window.
Yeah, BZ was
whatchamacallit, your Wi-Fi. It could be just be me.
Was watching over him. That's what forces Abizi to hit the retreat.
Ooh, Shotzi with the route.
Man disadvantage.
Oh,
Shotzi also with a rival 9 in hand. You really love an MCW in this position, but he's going to try to make a play happen. And Abizi playing patient.
Good one. Good one.
That's another good homework moment. We saw Shotzi use that same route every single defense, it felt like, over the course of the weekend. And maybe a little bit of information gained by Abizi, but good patience regardless. Leaves Pred completely by himself, finding the first off the window. Secondary shots are beautiful, and he's got help nearby. That's maybe an opportunity for Dashy to keep him up, but not going to happen. Leaves Pred now have to work the 1v2 and possible ace.
He spots Draza. So can he get the info as well onto Celium? He's going to be able to recover that.
Nice, good
he's gonna turn this
kill.
into a 1v1.
Cell, the other side of it. Looking to take away space. Pred able to lock him down, and the 1v2 ace comes out for Pred. What a
Let's
moment.
go, Pred.
A 1v2 ace,
Let's
a 2v4
fucking go.
clutch, or basically a 1v4 clutch because Pred gets it done by himself. Miraculously pulls out that 2-piece in towards the site, jumps down through bottom pit, and at that point I was thinking Celium or Draza have to know that he's around that area. You cannot allow him to lose track. And then once he's able to find that freebie onto Draza, you're thinking if you're Celium, okay, he's going to be trying to hit some kind of route, but the patience is key.
Will
Optic gaming in
FaZe
the clutch,
lose
more
it?
specifically Pred on 5 in a row
We'll see
now.
here in a
Massive.
second.
4.
So far, one map down, pretty dominant from Optic.
Greenwall knows no international borders or
For
boundaries.
sure, the green wall is
Draza, I believe, did get stunned
international.
over towards B
That's
elevators.
amazing.
He's slow and laboriously making his way into
X
safety.
gotta be
And
proud
Shotzi
as
trying
hell
to
of the
find
boys,
up and over,
man.
does get pushed off, and then in the same moment, Pred drops on the other side of the map. So now it's just down to what Shotzi can find, forcing the action through, and
You think
Draza's
they're
right
glued
there
to their
beat him. Numbers
chairs?
advantage for
Yes,
FaZe.
most likely,
Kenny
dude.
and Dashy's down. Their opportunity to clutch on up. Kenny finds that kill onto Sim, instantly going to turn it into a 2v2. You have a lot of this B side control. But this is where Dashy's gaining that info, and you probably want to work this objective.
Well, shots are still coming out of Dashy. Kenny looking to work around the middle of the map. I don't know if Dashy has seen Bull. That's the question. Looks like he's given enough space to allow Kenny to jump on for the plant. Shots exchanged between Abizi and Dashy. Draza watching for the exit, clean. Now it's just down to 1, and Dashy's already isolated, so now it's just to a 1v1 situation. Dashy versus Draza, another AR-v-AR battle, and Draza, the opening peak, clean shots on the corner, and enough for Draza to clutch things up with him finding 3 in the round.
Yeah, that was beautifully played right there out of Draza in the 2v2 scenario. He realized that he was able to spot Kenny sitting through underground on that cross over towards the site.
All these
Knew
boys
that
are
Dash was
locked
sitting
in,
at top of
man.
range, so they have to work in this
They're
bomb
hella
play.
glued to their chairs.
And catches the timing, pushing up through bottom pit for that first kill. And then in the 1v1, the YY
Really?
out of Dashy gets him out of the pre-aim.
You still haven't
Draza
figured
was
it
ready
out?
for that gunfight. Atlanta, 2-1.
Okay. I see
Big
how it
regain
is. I
after
see
the
how it is.
1v2 ace. I think that's just, again, mentally, it puts you right back into the driving seat. First blood battle has been representative of the score. 2 for FaZe, 1 for Optic.
You wanna
nades aggressively for FaZe, going over towards the
if you wanna like support the red team, that's completely fine.
Then back off
But for
will
me,
take his spot.
I'm going all green.
Catch any intel over towards
We're
the
gonna
east
go
of the map initially, and
Optic for
Shotzi
sure.
will be able to kind of exchange a little bit of a battle with Draza early.
Yeah, you see the way that Optic Gaming are playing this. With Dashy watching from his spawn. That B Street. Fred watching the underground, and the rest of the players from Optic Gaming watching over towards his bottom blue, because early frags were invested from Atlanta FaZe on this side of the map. So this is potentially where the push is going to come in.
Follow-up nades coming out of Optic, just
Hey,
making
good
sure
choice, thank you.
inside of blue. Shotzi continues to play off this angle. Draza down low, tough fight. Shots are decent though from Shotzi, just can't quite finish the kill, and that's just an aggressive game of tag as both teams reset 4v4 with the BZ now making a move.
Oh, and BZ's ready for this first fight onto Fred. Finds that first blood, the first blood king. Is now in the man advantage for Atlanta FaZe. You gotta start thinking about that bomb play, but Shotzi's here to contest it from top heli.
He's got a lot to worry about though. He knows he's got
gets
FaZe
caught.
members over towards the staircase. Kenny trying to follow up behind, not gonna work out. Exchange is good for FaZe. Dashy now by himself.
You're right.
This is
You're
a
right. You know
1v3.
they
First
do
two
have
shots,
a.
whoa, super clean. Bomb though, going to be planted. Doesn't get an angle at any of these
Oh
FaZe
my
defenders.
God.
More damage, but not enough to confirm any kills. And everything will reset 1v2.
You would really love to have a frag grenade in your back
Yeah,
pocket for
damn.
those gunfights, but Celium somehow, some ways, eating every single bullet, staying alive, changing up his corners, and then you set up the team fires in the 2v1 scenario, realizing that Dashy is most likely going to be pre-aiming in the back of his spawn, playing for that guaranteed one-on-one. But a 2-on-1 is a lot better. Atlanta FaZe starting to pull away.
He was a bullet away from killing Cell maybe twice.
Yes.
Yeah, Optic's S&D isn't so
But
great.
the
So
big news, like you mentioned, is the little bit of
unfortunately,
separation here for
this is
FaZe.
going
Doesn't
kind of
feel
how
as
I
convincing as the
expected.
scoreboard would lead you to believe, though. Shotzi still at 0-4, Sib still at 0-3.
Imagine
so
playing on the
there are
phone.
some
Oh my
elements
God.
to still be considered here as we jump into round
I mean,
number
there
5,
are
and
tournaments,
FaZe
I
will
think,
take an
to
aggressive setup with the trophy
like
system
playing
down
on
over
the
towards
phone. So that's
underground.
pretty
Yeah, pushing
interesting.
aggressively
I know
through
there
bottom
is
pin, so gotta be ready
the.
for this play if you are Optic Gaming, and they were prepared for that aggression.
Nice.
They find the initial 2 kills. Draza effective on the trade, but man advantage Optic.
Yeah, this is just not where you want to be as FaZe's defense. Shotzi gets tagged down to a bullet, but stays alive. He'll be the one to collect the bomb. Meanwhile, I say Pred had an angle over towards Cell's direction, but as Cell makes his way into the A site, he actually finds the kill.
Cell,
so now
wow.
it's just to a 2v2, but still there are questions for FaZe on where exactly this Optic offense is.
Celium's at least getting the read of where the play is going to be developing as that bomb does go down.
Oh, it's gonna-
Pushing his way
wow.
behind enemy lines, going to take his sweet time working behind the spawn. And it's a crossfire setup from Optic Gaming towards B Street.
Come on, just stay together, guys. Stick together.
Time on Optic's side at the moment. Cell and Draza taking their time, but the shots from Cell are great. But Shotzi hasn't taken any shots of his own. So now
Nice.
there's question marks on where he's at. First one, he won his good pistol out and almost. You thought for maybe
Damn.
a second he was going to pull the
They're
beat down out,
campers?
but Draza too clean with the shots. Will get
Kinda,
FaZe the
yeah.
goal.
They were camping
And
there
that's
for a
all
sec.
comes down to Celium finding that kill onto Dashy, because once you get that kill, you're realizing, okay, they're probably setting a crossfire setup here because he's not watching his back. So Shotzi has to be at an angle to try to cover his teammate. But the headshot's good enough for the first kill. The trade more effective for the final. Atlanta FaZe starting to run away with this game. 3 first bloods to 2. But even in the man disadvantage there, the ARs for Atlanta FaZe clutch on up.
Yeah, that's massive from Cell, I think, in particular, because it really starts at the 1v1 he gets over towards the A side of the map versus Pred. If that doesn't come through, that round's just over. So, really good save. Easy, MCW in hand. Looking to catch some aggression, and what a read this is. Doesn't finish the second, but Draza's right there to pick up on the damage tally. And that's enough for now FaZe to what would you assume be a comfortable 4v2. Make it now a 4v1 as a BZ starts to pop off.
And now you know who the last player alive is. It's going to be Dashy, so he's most likely in the back of the spawn watching an angle from one of these windows. He finds that kill onto a BZ, but the bomb is getting planted. Another 1v3 opportunity, and his positioning is known.
Hey, we saw it with Miles on the interview. Pred said the most likely person on the team to pull a 1v4 would be Dashy. This one, maybe a little bit more hard pressed, but still, the snap, the center is decent. Not enough to deal any further damage to the remaining couple of members. And with that now, FaZe, again, it feels weird to see a 5-1 tally because these rounds have been so tremendously close.
But it's Atlanta FaZe doing their homework once again. They're realizing, okay, we have shut down the Optics play over towards Helipad. Shotzi's not going to jump up on that angle to try to contest for that first blood. We have shut down that pressure over towards B Street. So their only go-to to try to switch this game up in the pacing department is try to push out towards blue. And with the BZ going from a Ravo 9 to an MCW, He just finds a free first kill, sets up Draza for the second. Easy round for Atlanta.
Yeah, the reads really have been great for FaZe off the breakoffs. It's just the fact that even with first bloods tallied, Optic have fought back pretty considerably. Not enough to make up on the scoreboard, though. So now it's going to have to be 5 in a row for Optic Gaming. Otherwise, it'll be a very convincing map number 2 for FaZe. aBeZy thinking he's got time and space to maybe get a little bit aggressive. But
is he lagging?
Is just barely missed.
Team kill.
Yeah, and that's enough for aBeZy to find one.
Come on.
Back open. He's got every other member for Optic around him. That's enough to catch Shotzi before he can jump to safety, and now it's just down to Kenny. His now position is known. Kenny gets the beatdown though on the cell. Now it's just down to aBeZy who finds the final 1v1, and what a bounce back for FaZe. 6-1 in map number 2.
And that was a 2v4 clutch. aBeZy was stuck between a rock and a hard place, but the team kill is definitely gonna help. Because as soon as that happens, aBeZy finds the second. He realizes there was pressure over that top propane. Whips out the Renetti, the movement too strong. Both the SMGs for Atlanta FaZe recently into this event switched to that hybrid, but they're able to hit them dives. But aBeZy just finessed tremendously over towards B Street.
Well, we got a game in our hands. We got a match now, 1-1. Pretty dominant from each side, actually. So.
And I think in particular, you had good maps from Cell and
what are we gonna do?
That's huge in terms of just getting the ARs.
Gotta move forward. Go next game. Go next
because if you think Optic put themselves in a lot of man advantages situations.
Prado was doing great.
Prado was picks all the way across the map. You have to play those numbers a lot better. But then Atlanta FaZe, you allow 2v4 to happen. You allow a 1v2 to happen. All these things that bring them icy moments in Search and Destroy. They just showed it to fruition. Simp didn't really have to do anything. Don't worry, I got your comms. I'll plant your bombs. Don't worry about that. And then Shotzi on the other side was the biggest one that I looked at because he's the playmaker for Optic Gaming. He never found those openings.
If they look away from the screen, they can't see anything. Probably with those lights, it's fucking insane.
How different this map feels, especially for someone like Shotzi who's trying to get those aggressive angles early, and if he gets in trouble, he could smoke himself, or if he gets there, he could smoke deeper. So, some interesting things with the patch changing between champs and now. But outside of the heroic 1v2 ace for Bread, this map was entirely in favor of FaZe, and a lot of it did start immediately with aBeZy. 3 first bloods, 10 kills, 2,100 damage. Yeah, that's a map right there from the young man.
Yeah, he was just all over the map, man. He starts off with a bunch of first bloods, like you said. But then having that switch up in his game plan. All right, I'm going to run the Rival 9 here. I'm going to switch to an MCW. And that final
those are
round,
clean shots right there, man.
Aggressive over towards B Street. Usually do not see players make those kind of plays, but aBeZy never shies away from those kind of moments. And Atlanta FaZe just take advantage of every situation Optic threw at them.
Yeah, and again, just to hit this one final time, kind of ice the cake here, put a bow in the present. It's the fact of the matter that in the first 2 rounds, they had reads on what shots he was going to do. Yep. The offensive side, he's going to hit underground, he's going to jump up,
looked at the bots there and saw what they were doing, so that's insane. All right, I'm going to go to the restroom real quick, so I'll be back in just a minute while we wait for the next match to start, or the next map to start. I'll be back.
And the good thing to do versus Shotzi specifically early into these rounds is that his confidence is getting shot on those kind of plays. So he started to switch it up, trying to find different angles of attack, but couldn't find any success anywhere around the map.
Well, it's been pretty clean. And, well, my duo here looking pretty clean.
Good. Good.
We're feeling it here in Riyadh. But after 2 blowout maps, we're going to go to an invasion control, which will hopefully get something a little bit more back and forth. Don't go far. We'll be right back after this.
It's the EWC and you want to play like a pro. Well, we've got a lesson for you. Axe on. You're fresh, ready to fight and grind those long hours. It's how it should be. Axe off. You're slow, unfocused, and lagging. Do you get it? Let's go again. To unleash your best game, you must freshen up first. Get your axe on. Spray, play, repeat. Axon Esports World Cup.
لحظات البداية عاشت معنا. كنا نحسبها وقت للتسلية بس. نحسبها بس ذكريات.
عبود أعطي أختك اليد يا ولد.
ابتكرنا فيها ابتكارات، وإذا بغينا قلبناها خرافات. كنا نحسبها بس لمة وصحبة وسهرات.
انتبه نوب ترى نوب.
لكن كنا نشوف عالم ما حد يشوفه.
لا تعيش الوقت بشيء يفيده.
الله عليك على الصوت.
عالم كبر وعاش فينا. عالم الحماس فيه يوصلك كل مرة لحلم أصعب، بس ما يصعب عليك. بارد معك وين ما تروح.
All right. Let's see how this game continues. Hopefully we get a good map. If not, I just want, you know, Optic to dominate. I don't want to worry. But I got my next drink. I got a Starbucks Frappuccino. That's gonna be our next caffeine intake. Because we have a couple of long matches here to go. Barely, this is the first one of this
on Championship Sunday. The Optic Whites are out, but FaZe, after a disappointing map number 1, gave us the immediate redemption that we would want to see from a series fitting of El Clasico. Jay, we saw some dominance though, and I think the thing about it is Optic are playing perfect hardpoint at the moment.
Yes, without question. It doesn't get any better than that. We know that Atlanta FaZe barely get a 100-point club. So let's go back and look at something from that map number 1.
We got some toys to play with. So we're going to do a little live Telestrator breakdown of this break towards P5. Okay, so here's the deal. What we started to see was FaZe were down bad. And what you're setting up is a P5 hold that has you watching every single cross point, and then one player in the middle that's going to flex between what happens over towards red or what happens over towards middle. The thing that's different about this play, though, is the fact that Optic have the cruise missile to play with. And I think more importantly, the fact is they get the information early, they get the elimination on towards cell, and then from here, you're only looking at one thing, and that is the player inside the hard point with this cruise missile. So you pop it in, you take them out of the point, and then here is where we really saw Optic dominate. It's in moments like this, not just on this hard point, but in others where, okay, we've got a free route, not only through the outside, but possibly through the middle, and then you've got players watching the cross. So the remaining members of the backside of this hill have no chance to actually get to Jay, and what that means is spawn manipulation. You push him all the way back towards the outside, and that is about as clean of a break as we could possibly see from Optic.
It doesn't get any easier than that. It all starts with that first kill onto the player in towards red, and then you realize, okay, we can invest the cruise missile onto the player on hill. We have the crosses covered on the back end, and then even with Pred finding one and getting traded, there's a teammate right behind them because you put yourself in a numbers advantage. It's just beautifully played in that map number 1 from Optic.
And I think the thing about it, comparing it to maybe the Toronto cruise missile or the Cloud9 one at the end of the day yesterday, was we're not just using the cruise to get the kill inside the hard point, we're using it to break down the entire map.
Yes.
So that way we get an easier break, not just finding one kill, but separating out FaZe so much that they don't get their hold and they don't even get their spawns afterwards.
Yeah, it was just tough, man. Like, the map number 1 did not treat them well. Optic made simply no mistakes in that map number 1.
Big.
And it helps when you're earning cruise missiles early on into the game. But enough about that. Map number 1, we already got through the search and destroy. It was about a 5-minute S&D from Atlanta FaZe, multiple clutch rounds. But there is nothing more important in this series than this control, because on the season, Atlanta are 6-1, and then we're playing on an invasion where they are, without question, the number 1 team on this map.
That's such a big point. And let's be honest, in terms of this series between these two teams, the control has often been the difference maker between them. So it feels fitting that we get an invasion, one that could often go the distance. But I will say, you know, looking at the recent history, we've gotten a lot of really good offensive looks for both. I think more so for the side of FaZe, who don't just get it done by the ticks, but they also are going to outslay you.
Yeah, they outslay on both sides of the field. And the good thing for them on the defensive side, they actually have 50 successful round wins and only 8 losses. So you have to do something tremendous.
All
if you want
right,
to take
let's
them down on
see.
the defensive
Let's
end.
see what we can do here.
Starting off on the attack. No trophy systems to show in this round number 1, but they're applying a lot of pressure around that mid-map.
Yeah, really good for FaZe to clear out mid, like you mentioned, but they do get taken down from actually stopping the clock on the B zone. And with the spawn from Cell, that allows them to move over towards Water Street. FaZe are going to test their luck over towards A. And with the first blood going the direction of a BZ, there's a chance where you could stack and get some early progress here.
And it was just great plays from Simp causing havoc over at that B point. You open up the lane over at A. First segment already in. All the initial kills in favor of Atlanta.
Damn,
That's 3
okay.
dead. Playing
Jesus.
for the 4th. The double stack is going to be in.
What's going on?
And Draza, he's communicating.
Stack, 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 stack. I think that's, I'm not, professional lip reader, but it did look like that may have been the call, and they will get the extra 60 seconds. So what a gut check call for FaZe. Win in the middle of the map, and now a chance to cut off Optic on rotation.
This is getting bad very, very quickly. Optic Gaming were not prepared for the aggressive Atlanta FaZe. We're going to start off on their attack. Already able to extend this game by an extra minute. So now all they have to do is work the easier point over towards B, but Selim is just playing for the spawners. He's watching the cross, making it difficult for Optic Gaming to have that numbers advantage over at that B point.
Oh, and this is what we're talking about when it comes to Cell getting active on respawn. He's the one hitting the long pinch. Alerted is going to be Kenny. Decent fight back, and that'll be enough for Optic to clear out the flank and also simultaneously get some space from the front.
Fantastic plays right there from Pret to hold down that front angle, find a double. Now Abiz, the last player standing for FaZe. He's able to catch a double. An effective trade still here from Optic Gaming. A lot of presence around this broken area, and was just a 6-point life lead in favor of Atlanta. Optic had brought it right on back.
I mean, considering the fact that Atlanta looked so good off of their breakoff, you're still dealing with Simp at just 1 and 5. So, I mean, the kills continue to be dominated by Optic as they set up a very aggressive zone in front of the B point.
What was that?
FaZe looking to work back through
Shooting
mid.
through
You've
the
got Pred watching
friggin'
one
trench?
angle, and Kenny getting deep in towards Ice Cream. This is not where you want the ARs of Optic to live. And Dashy, a little fadeaway onto Cell, takes down 2, and Optic continue to dominate in the kill feed.
If you shoot against the Batman, you better be shooting straight because that guy does not miss bullets. He's on 4 in a row. And at the same time, Draza at least finds an opening on that pinch. So one player coming off the respawn, you're able to take care of Kenny out of Ice Cream. Now Dashy has to clutch up and get a couple more.
Space through mid-map, though, for FaZe. Time becoming a bit of an issue. Dashy will be shut down, only getting 4 in a row. Alerted, though, is Kenny and Shotzi, and as they try to hold ground in towards the backside of the B point, it's just down to finding Draza. And he may have slipped the net here. Simp on the point. Does get taken down, so Draza's going to have to step in to stop the clock at 16 seconds.
16 seconds to go, 9v9 in lives remaining.
Nice.
Just hoping that his teammates can watch over him. He's
Good
trying
kills.
to put the game clock at a pause, but Dashy again.
Nice, good fucking kills.
To find the third.
Let's go.
That's a
Okay,
clean
all right,
four
all
down.
right.
Would look to be a dominant round to start it off for Atlanta FaZe. Optic come back swinging with a 2-minute hold at that B point.
Unreal scenes, man. And we're going to exit away from this saying, hey, it's just 3 ticks of progress.
3 ticks.
Doesn't matter what zone it was on, it's still only 3 ticks. I think the biggest part about this is you're starting to see Cell get super active, super aggressive. And even in that moment, Optic are still very
423?
alerted to,
Wait,
hey, we haven't
hold
seen
on,
Cell
hold on.
yet.
What?
Let's just make sure he's not on their flank. Kenny gets that 1v1 win, and after that, Optic are all gas.
Are they,
It was just Dashy.
was that a message to Suma?
Pred initially
Or do we
off,
actually
holding
have
down that
someone
tank
4 and
area.
23? Oh, shit. I don't think we have a
You
4 and
absolutely
23. It's
take
barely
it
the
if you are
first
Optic.
round.
You give up early A segments, you give the only away 3, and you're forced to hold down that B point for 2 minutes, and you hold it down flawlessly. So now you're just going to do the easy work early on. You got trophy systems, let's extend this time early.
Abizi playing down low at Treehouse. Shots over the top from Simp. The rest of FaZe lingering through mid-map, just making sure that all of Optic are fully intending on staying here at B. But as kills come out, now the defense has to rotate, and in that moment, Pred finds one. Maybe a chance for him to put some pressure on A, but Simp gets the quick trade. The problem is, you lose all your defenders at B.
Yeah, with Pred finding that kill, you're forcing Atlanta FaZe to play for that trade instead of putting all their reinforcements over towards B. So the second segment is on the way. You already have shots sitting in towards top Treehouse, trying to find the timing onto that kill on the back end, but Simp is able to get the better of him. Still the third segment on the way.
Long-range engagement also happening over towards Water Street, so FaZe will have to stay pretty responsible over towards this A site.
Damn.
Good pistol win from Simp. That depletes a little bit of the progress and also keeps the clock ticking for the FaZe defense. But with Cell, the only one still standing, Kenny is very aware that he's probably playing up top at an angle. Just comes down to, does he actually confirm that information or not? And the answer is he doesn't need to. The point will be captured, 60 seconds added, and now just over 2 minutes for Optic to work with.
All tied up in segments now. Atlanta FaZe the best team that we have on the defensive side, and they're hoping to show it here as they find an early 3 kills in the feed. You have one player from Optic who's still alive, though, in Dashy. He finds himself in towards DVD, but they spot him, and that's all 4 players accounted for. Time to put him in the trap.
Just as much as Optic dominated on their B defense after the first 3 ticks were captured, this has the makings of something similar for FaZe over towards the A zone. Draza pushing back over. Does get a couple of tags, allowing Celium to pick up on his work, not once, but twice. So, again, the ARs for Atlanta really coming to life here on this defense.
Oh, great shots out of Draza to back down Dashy for a little bit, but you still got to worry about this overextension because Shotzi finds that kill onto Abizi. So he's going to play for that spawn kill once again. He's going to switch up the angle, this time go to top blue. Abizi's not having a good time so far versus Shotzi. And this is where Shotzi's going to force that spawn now behind him and take a little bit more ground away.
I think that was 3 straight lives that Shotzi took down Abizi. And now Shotzi's making moves over towards the zone itself. Abizi trying to get his revenge. Stun is through. Shotzi's already out of there. Trophy system.
How?
No chance to shoot back. Follow-up looked good, and it will be, as Draza and Simp will make sure the A zone continues to stay clear.
It's already been a minute wiped off the game clock. Celium off the respawn is able to take care of the closest player. Puts them from Optic Gaming. But this is where Dashy just needs to hold down his lane. He needs to allow the SMGs who are running the ARs on this map to work their way up through the middle side.
I mean, Bruce is finding every single snap. The stun lands, he immediately pops up, finds damage into Simp, who can no longer shout from the fire truck, but as the rest of FaZe clear out that back alley, now it's an opportunity just to isolate and focus just on Dashy, who continues to give him a bit of a workout here. Holy cow. Optic now taking a chance to play through the OE, 25 seconds, they got to make their move.
And Dashy continue to pepper because your teammates are applying the pressure on the deep side, so you're hoping you can set up the crossfires, but more effective trades coming in from Atlanta. Now it leads to Pred being the farthest player pushed on up. With only 15 seconds left, I don't think that Optic Game are going to be able to get close towards A.
Likely not, unless Pred can find kills through Water Street and allow this run-up to be very clean. And whoa, hold on a second. Timing here is decent. Finds Simp for the first. Draza fighting from inside the zone. Connected from Optic. Stop the clock. Can he try to get there? Not gonna happen. No one else will touch. So FaZe respond with an equally as impressive defense as Optic provided in round 1.
And Optic are hoping when they find themselves in that scenario where they have a lot of mid-map control, they just need a double kill to go in their way. It was always Atlanta FaZe trading effectively. Abizi spawning off. Even though he wasn't having a good time initially versus Shotzi, he was able to find that kill towards the very end. And then you're keeping them trapped in. You're focused on the OE, leaving Dashy alone over towards Water Street, holding a pre-aim. You know that he's not going to try to make that individual play unless his teammates are there with him. And Atlanta FaZe respond by only allowing 3 segments to get away from them, so we're all tied up in that column.
That's a really nice highlight of the discipline from FaZe. Even though they have 3 members that could rush at Dashy, there's no need to. No need to put that risk into play. It's a really good highlight out of you, Jay. Again, it's like you played this game professionally at one point in time.
One time, you know, a couple times, couple years.
Opening engagements for FaZe looking good over towards B. BZ going to make sure Shotzi does get taken care of topside treehouse, and that will lead to probably at least 2 ticks of progress, maybe the full zone as Optic are fully focused on sending their defense up for A.
Yeah, they want to make sure they maintain this middle of the map because this is where Atlanta FaZe thrive through the chaos. You do have Draza on 5 in a row. Can invest that trophy system to simply play his life even better. Second segment on the way, and you already have players like Selim contesting over towards Water Street. So how do Optic Game decide to apply pressure?
That's exactly how FaZe counteract the opportunity for Optic to even consider possibly putting anything in play. So now you've got a cruise missile earned for Draza. The Water Street's wide open. Draza can play through laundry, an extra 60 seconds on the clock. I mean, it's a laundry list of things going right here for FaZe.
They're already in the point as well. Draza spots the first player on the cross. He sets up his teammate into BZ for that first kill. Now the double stack is going to be in, but you do not have a trophy system. So if you are Optic Gaming, throw everything that you got.
All opening shots are good. Kenny dealt with. Zipper on the back almost turns that into a double. Now it's just down to 1 though. Good shots out of Dashy. Able to find the first cleanly. Second tick of progress though. Gonna get locked in. Pred v Cell maybe for the round here, but Cell will be stunned up. Maybe doesn't make a difference. He still takes 1 with him.
And now it's more difficult because already Atlanta FaZe worked their way out of their spawn. A lot of pressure around this mid-map area, and if you are Optic Gaming, you are forced to iron up. Clutch up Indy's gunfight. Red strikes for the first. Draza effective on the trade, but look at the clinch coming in from Abizi.
Yeah, but Abizi has been damaged up pretty heavily.
Oh!
What? Oh my goodness. Almost the finesse of Abizi's career right there. But Optic deal with it, and in that moment, they also regain close spawns to keep this defense alive.
And Atlanta have a minute and 45, up by 7 lives. Only 13 remaining for Optic. Big nade over the top, and this is where the cruise missile is going to get invested. Abizi finds another. They gain the info that the last player was in towards Cafe. That's already 3 dead. The double stack is going to be in, and this might be the round.
Yeah, feels that way. Shotzi also taken from behind over towards Laundry, so there's no way to get the defense back involved, and it is going to be a full capture for FaZe. Wow. I mean, offensive success towards A has been unreal clean from FaZe.
They are the #1 attacking team and the #1 defending team. I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the game.
Casual.
They find the most success on that side of the map because they are always keeping up in that slaying department, never getting outslayed, never getting forced to be trapped in towards the back of their spawn. And then when you have a cruise missile in the back pocket, it only makes your job a lot easier, especially when Celium finds that initial 2 kills over towards Water Street. You call in the cruise, you give the info to Abizi, he finds a double. And that was the round. Up by 6 segments now is Atlanta.
Yep, and so what that means here is Optic will have to win the offense by ticks of progression. Then we got to do some math in the kills to determine who gets the round 5 defense. Opener, good from Shotzi. Already getting control over towards Treehouse side. Clock will stop with a lot of time on it. 1:21 still remaining as Pred gets a read towards Abizi at DBD.
First segment about to come in, but Abizi now on 5 in a row. Does get instantly traded by Dashy. Simp and Draza, though, they combine for 2, so it's only Kenny in this position, and now that leads to a 4 dead. You are forced to work out of your spawn. They have the crossfire set up. Optic are not going to have a good time here.
You cannot allow Draza and Simp to take control of this B-side tank either, and this is just getting disastrous for Optic's offensive hopes. Cell on 4 in a row, trying to back up to safety on the water bridge, and he's got help nearby.
How are they
Simp
getting,
keeps
like,
him alive.
away,
Abizi
dude? Like, they're
follows
just
up behind
getting
it, and Optic are
peppered.
trapped in Palace.
50 seconds to go. You have to work your way out now and hopefully not allow the streaks to develop on the side of Celium. Cruise missile earned. 20 and 13 out of this young man. Leading EWC in the KD department. All of Atlanta FaZe trapping Optic Gaming in towards the backside of this Palace area. And they are simply running out of time.
Yep. I mean, they've only got 2 kills, have Optic. And it's still staying that way. 28 plays 17. And you just kind of feel like the conversations are already starting to happen for Subbase, because how do you break through this? Draza now on 3 in a row. Maybe one last desperate hope, but no.
Jesus.
Sim crushes dreams on 5. Maybe not even needed to get the 6, because let's be candid, Optic are not getting either of these zones.
And if you're selling him, just call in the cruise missile. Who cares? There's only 7 seconds left. Optic is still going to be tapped into their spawn. You're watching the overextension over towards B. Production already knows we don't even got to see the end of the map, because that's Atlanta FaZe again dominating on another
God.
Gaming. Now up 2-1.
Blowout map after blowout map through 3. After a heck of a statement was started by Optic, now all of a sudden it's Draws and Cell picking it back up. They go a combined 44 and 25. Nearly double positive for both the ARs combined.
You're watching them both? Oh, that's
And
awesome,
you
man.
gotta think, in that round #1 for FaZe,
A little bit
you're probably
overkill,
a
though.
bit demoralized
At the
because you
same
gained that
time.
early A capture, and then Optic are able to shut you down at that B point. But everything after that was completely flawless out of Atlanta. They went on the attacking side.
that was pretty
Draza
dominant.
already earns himself that cruise missile, but Celium playing discipline the way that he is, in that mapping mode, you don't really have to move a lot. You just gotta dominate your power position, and he held down Water Street to the T. He might have been Aquaman.
Dude, the non-traded kills in the last 2 maps for FaZe have been unbelievable. I mean, we're talking about a couple of trades. You can count it between both hands. Maybe you have to pull a toe or 2, but regardless, it's really clean from FaZe.
Damn.
And that comes all after what looked to be a gut-wrenching first round.
For sure, that's
Doesn't make a
crazy.
difference. I mean,
We're gonna have a round 5 maybe, or a game 5?
A zone first, followed by a complete capture of B. Absolutely beautiful stuff for FaZe.
And Atlanta FaZe look completely different now compared to that map #1. Guns are a little bit more hot. The teamwork aspect is definitely showing, because Optic are thinking, okay, selling him as one shot, I'm just going to send it on to him. But then that's when you have players like Simp right behind him, watching those crosses. Everything right now is clicking for Atlanta FaZe after a terrible map #1. Now leading 2-1 into this series. This is the map that I had highlighted.
Yep.
Because they only played it a total of 10 times. They have a record of 4 and 6. Optic on the opposing end are 13 and 2 on Subbase, and we have had the opportunity to watch them play it this weekend, and they dominated. But the mind games are coming into play now. What do Atlanta FaZe have in store on a map like Subbase?
And keep in mind, you mentioned this, just to confirm it, this is FaZe picking the map. So
Yes.
they will not be spawning on the favored side. So there better be something in the oven here, because the times that we have seen FaZe pick the map and start on the unfavored side is often when they get blown out. So we may just have 4 blowout maps if Optic continue to play this map to the standard that we expect them to.
Yeah, and especially if the ARs ain't coming to play, because we're going into a sub-base where it's going to be AR dominant. And the way that Draza and Celium are shooting after that map number 1 is simply stellar. 29 traded kills here and there. Always finding clutch gunfights. 2v4s, even in the search and destroys. These guys are clicking on all cylinders right now. So if you are Optic Gaming, you need to make sure you are able to thrive through that chaos. Because you know on sub-base, sometimes the parallel spawns can come in, but you have to be able to read it.
Dude, it's crazy how they get shot, but they don't die. Like, they're not dying.
It's on both sides. Rotationally, FaZe has been one of the best teams in Hardpoint on the year. Yeah, with the exception of this map. Yep, that's been the only one that's kind of thrown a bit of a wrench into the system of what has been domination from FaZe pretty much throughout the entirety
like
of the year.
the FaZe freaking players are getting peppered by Optic, but they're just not dying. They're like able to get away. Like I don't understand. It's like they have extra help.
To showcase your skills on a map that you have barely played throughout the season. Draza letting the boys know, job not done yet. Energy is flowing, the vibes are there for Atlanta FaZe. Just one map until they move to the grand finals.
Well, let's see if they can find a way to do it against Optic on what has been one of their catalysts throughout the entirety of the year on Hardpoint. Sub-base.
All right, let's see this.
Spawning over on the bad side. What do you have
Ooh,
in store for us?
come on.
Otherwise, for Optic, I think you're looking at this map saying, our turn to blow you right back out again.
I'm hoping it's not a blowout. I hope it's a nail-biter of a game towards the very end.
Selfishly, yes.
But it's going to be Optic, at least starting off on the preferred side, but none of the kills going their way. Great shoulder out of a BZ. He's going to set up his teammate Insip for the potential kill, and this is where the double child comes in. Optic still have the spawns, but Atlanta successful on the early break.
And that's another moment where you can highlight the homework for FaZe. When we saw Shotzi and Optic play this map from the favored side, it was up and through top glass. Yep. There's a stun waiting for him this time. So really smooth stuff for FaZe, as they will now make their first efforts towards trying to flip the map. Pred in their way, trying to see if he can catch Simp. A moment of second guessing, but he eventually is able to find him, locate, and also confirm the kill.
Yeah, you couldn't lose track of Simp right there, because he potentially would have spawned you all the way across the map. But Atlanta take 15 seconds at that P1, but Pred single-handedly dominating off this rotation. He is going to allow one player to slip on by, but the teammates holding down the spawns are able to respawn and take down Celium. So now Optic Gaming in the position to run this score up here at P2.
Interesting route here for number 5 in green shots. He's going to get to top glass to make sure the maze stays safe. So this is going to make sure that Optic have their full focus on what comes through warehouse and what could potentially hit them to the P2 stairs. Pred, the first one in action. Good for the opener. Now it's down to getting a read on
nice, let's go, Pred.
That's what you expect. The problem is BZ has gotten around the back, and there's a chance for FaZe to make a mess of this setup.
Pred has always been one of the best players at sub-base HP. He just knows the timings, knows where the pressure is coming in, and already finds himself on 5 in a row. Can he earn himself an early cruise? And he's going to be blessed with that kill onto Draza. Now you can start to hit that rotation, because the break only comes in for the final 15. Yeah. You will take that spawns flip. Optic Gaming win the rotation anew.
Especially with the cruise whistle being earned, I know it's not going to feel like a net win on P2, because FaZe were able to contest a lot of time and also earn a bit of the scrap, but this is nice to get very out of hand very quickly. Dashy double over through Warriorhouse side. However, FaZe, because the hardpoint wasn't open yet, will actually get one more spawner close. Can they find a way to surprise the setup? And Celium will give us our first answer of a yes.
You see the route out of Simp. He's going to spawn, continuously spawn that player in Pred across the map. He's applying pressure on the back end. Dash is sitting at one shot. 38 HP. Wow. He's going to commit on the gunfight, and the early break comes in for Atlanta. And now with 40 seconds left, Optic, you do not want to invest that cruise missile here.
No, not at all.
Cruise missiles on P3 on sub-base are not effective.
A BZ one shot away from getting himself a cruise missile as well. Going to be denied. Trades are decent. Optic a chance to try to work their way back in for some scrap time, especially with the spawns being close, but Simp, perfect tracking, takes down Dashy, and now it's just down to how long can Chris stay alive.
That's all it comes down to. What more can Chris get done?
Nothing.
On this side of the map, unfortunately, nothing. So Optic are basically going to tie the game up with that final jump time. But Atlanta FaZe put themselves in a position to win the rotation over towards New. But Pred already causing mayhem over towards the generators, is able to take down one, but he opens up a lane for his teammates to get out of that backside.
And I will say, just kind of, again, talking about what we said at the pre-map, this has been good macro game from Atlanta. Optic are giving them a workout, but FaZe have manipulated enough to get themselves a bit of a lead. Cruise missile now being called in. Fred's going to take down 2 from the backside of the site, and simultaneously, Kenny's going to play backside tarps, but he gets shut down, and FaZe will still spawn in.
That's because Optic Gaming were blocking that Water Street spawn. You would love to push yourself around the OE, allow Atlanta FaZe to spawn all the way across the map, but the cruise missile is not going to be non-effective in this scenario. You get a double, but Atlanta spawned right into the back. They are still holding on to the hill. Simp and Draws are finding the trades, and I don't think Optic Gaming are going to find a break here, so you're forced to cut your losses and hit that rotation anew.
Yeah, this is just down to if Kenny can maybe take someone out of the hill. Not going to happen, so you have to resort to coming off spawn and purely focusing on the mid lane, setting up for P5. Dashy over towards Tankers. Shotzzy going to join him. Kenny off spawn will be the one to get into the hill.
40-point difference right now in favor of Atlanta.
Oh, come on.
Selling him. I don't know how he wins that second gunfight versus Shotzzy, but he's always prepared for those gunfights. Now Optic taking away a lot of the space on the left side of your minimap over towards Jens, but you would want Dashy to find that kill. Selling him again, finding another clutch gunfight. Now the rest of the teammates swarm their way through the middle of the map.
That is insane.
Now all of Optic spawning at warehouse.
Quick reactions from FaZe. Not able to just get the players out of the key positions towards P2, but the snaps up to the warehouse high ground also good. 40 points. Again, the lead for FaZe. Growing beyond that as Optic can't go through warehouse anymore, and they're being shut down on the long route by Abizi, who's purely watching the OE.
Again, they're forced to hit that rotation early on. This is what sub-base tends out to be. When you're trapped on that side of the map, you have to work your way on out. You have to flip the map on its head for you to stand a chance back into this game. A 60-point lead from Atlanta FaZe, but you can already see Optic have worked their way around that warehouse through P2. They're finding the kills around the middle of the map, and now they take the spawns right on back.
And that's what I was about to say, is this is not only a good neutralization of FaZe in the middle of the map, but it will flip the map as well. So it's a long game. It's a patient game, but Optic are doing what they need to try to get themselves back into the game. FaZe still fighting, but Optic desperately trying to hold on. We jump into an Optic Gaming. Listen it.
I know time.
I spawn out, PJ. Wasn't hit right late, bro.
Be kill on time.
Watch out, 8 ball time. Can I, our boxes. And he's laying down our boxes.
Watch your server. I can't sim.
Start aping the time, bro. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
One long. I can kill the guy right.
He's the server on top. One's out tunnel. Both sides on time. Both sides.
Simple time.
I might be from B2, bro.
Time.
Could be from B2.
I can try to play right.
I hear.
Simple time. Absolute. One lockers. Lockers in simple time. Absolute. Lockers in simple time.
Walker's your cat room ape. He's just going old. He's going old. One's out summer. One's out tunnel.
Let's go.
Front tunnel. All right, front node. Both node. Last two node. Last two. MC and node.
Jump sure.
Hey, what would a BZ? Half health for me.
All right, I needed it for you, bro. Take your time.
Abe
We're gonna top cat, boys.
Abe still out.
Top's not going.
We gotta live. I'm trying to play duo.
So dead, dude.
Two on you guys.
Top B2.
I wrapped the right.
Jesus.
One more. He's close.
I got one.
Time. You're all over time.
I'm
I got one on you.
Back.
On me.
Missing one.
Probably dark or some shit.
Hey, get me back on me.
I'm soaking.
I'll see him.
Top B2, guys. Last guy. He's on time.
On top.
Low right.
I'm dead.
Nice.
He's spawning in the back.
There's one tunnel, guys.
I stun him dark.
I'll get you top in 1 second.
I was dark.
Dark. Start on me.
Nice. Come on, Kenny.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ken.
I'm playing close right.
I'll block.
I'm loading, Ken.
I'm blocking.
Loading, Ken. I'm on shot.
I got naded. There's 3 against 10. 3. All there.
2 loading, 3.
All there. Forklift. They can go outside. Oh, good.
2 loading the plant.
I reset plat.
Here we
go. Outside plat. They can go right.
So he's super weak.
Let it play the right.
I'm trying to get the right.
Really big side there.
P1.
Two node.
Okay, one with P1.
One
P1.
All right, for B5 node.
Yeah,
pick up the right.
He's gonna go top star. I think he's trapping top star.
I hear.
I have the right, okay? I have the right.
I'll stun 8 top side.
Yeah.
I have the right.
I
have your low P5. You can play out.
I'm a tunnel.
Some struggles there, going from 1 to 2. Optic do a decent job on the second hill, but the gap is still 100 points, which means they need a full 60 here at New. And Simp again from the front is able to take the 2 contestants.
What?
And a BZ slams Dashy as the break is already good.
The season MVP walks his way right through.
No, I think there's a server issue because those bullets are not killing at all.
Across the map, and now Chris Slayer, he's everywhere on 5 in a row. Trying to find the 6 for the cruise missile, and there it is.
Well, this has been just about as clean as you get. Atlanta's going to get to 230. One last final comms check with FaZe, trying to take down the defending champs.
Damn.
MC's on you. I have time. Try to block the next kill. He spawns out probably.
I'm going secret, okay?
There's still spawn in there.
Sorry,
In the back, in the back, left up, in the back, in the back. There's 22, last two. Let's go, last kid. Oh, nice! I'm out ramp, I have mid.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
I have a streak, I'm streaking.
I don't have secret.
Call him out, listen. Yo, 2 warehouse, 2 front.
That P2.
P2. 2 comms. P2.
Yo, Tom's up with P2. I'll get on P2. We're good.
Well, it looked like FaZe about to put the game away here, but a team kill comes out of the cruise missile. Optic will hold on by getting in from the front. FaZe split spawning, still trying to find the final 10.
Optic have the numbers. They just have to find these gunfights through the back end. If you are Atlanta, you just want to take your time here. Wait for this pinch to develop out of Sif. He's able to find the first. The turnover potentially onto Dashy, but he's going to set up his teammates. Still one player left in the hill in Dashy. He's making it happen. He's able to find a 3. Optic game and take the spawns right on back.
Still a lot of work to be done here, though, for Optic. This is just step 1 of what's going to be about a 15-step process. 10 seconds of scrap time looking good. Dashy red on the pinch attempt over towards warehouse. So now you got to move quickly if you're Optic. You cannot allow Atlanta to find any time.
Absolutely not. You have to work your way over towards top snow. You got to contest this hill early on, as now Atlanta FaZe only 10 seconds away from securing this series.
Last hit for Optic. Shotzzy right around the back. Last 3 seconds now coming through.
No, well.
It's Straza who finds all
damn, GG.
Start, but it's a heck of a hot finish as Atlanta FaZe take down the world champs of Optic Gaming in
damn.
4.
And that is why we will always call Atlanta FaZe a big dog all throughout Call of Duty. Even them getting absolutely beat up in that map number 1, the next 3 maps weren't even remotely close. We know it's only a matter of time before the MVP of the season.
You know, we won champs, so that's all I can ask for, right?
And he gets it done on that sub-base in those final moments to move on to the grand finals here at EWC.
And that's a huge moment, kind of silencing all of the doubters, all of the haters, talking about, is this trio gonna stick? A top 6 at champs? We're talking about only 1 major win for this dominant squad? How about a chance to go through what a lot of people labeled as a soft opening bracket to take down Optic in 3 straight convincing maps, like you said, Jay? That's huge towards the momentum on the day, and even more so towards what this FaZe team could look forward to deep into the future.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, when they play like that, that's why we think that they are simply unstoppable. Everyone had their time to shine.
Oh well,
nobody obviously
can't say much. I play a really good COD right there.
On the control. You get to the sub base, a map they have
now we gotta go see 100 Thieves. We gotta root for 100 Thieves.
Everything going into this event, it worked out flawlessly.
Unreal scenes, my man. And after, again, it was a slow start from the ARs. I think we kind of were
okay, Draza, chill.
Going to be able to provide, but
chill,
Draza's
homie.
Down on the main stage with our final reactions and interviews with the boys.
Atlanta FaZe with a huge opening win on the main stage to kickstart Championship Sunday. What a phenomenal performance. I got Draza here with me on the main stage. Draza, let's touch a little bit on that opening map. That was tough. You even got handed a little bit of a lifeline with that reset, but you just couldn't find your groove. What was going on?
Yeah, honestly, we just weren't in flow, and they were just shooting, honestly. They deserved the map, obviously. They were just shooting. Like, we just had to hit a quick reset. We're switching S&D, and if you want to be the best team in the world, then you have to be able to take a loss like that and turn it around.
Which is exactly what you did, because that S&D, that 6-1 schooling, that was absolutely phenomenal.
That was great.
Do you feel like you guys have kind of made up for, you know, lost time, made up for that performance at Champs as well at this point?
Not yet. Obviously, we still have the finals, and, you know, we wanted to place better at Champs, but we have to wait until next year.
Now, when you guys were standing backstage before you walked out, you dared Kenny to carry the key, and now it's that fun part of the day when you get to accept the key from your opponent. Kenny, can you please bring over Optic's key that is going to be crushed backstage and be placed into the graveyard in the podium? That right there, that is an important key. How's it feel?
I mean, I'm the CEO of this org, obviously, so I already knew I was going to get
it.
But you seem supremely confident. Now, speaking of confidence, obviously, after taking out Optic from this competition, after such an impressive run by themselves, you've got to be feeling supremely confident for that grand final best of 7 later today.
100%. A win like that against the world champs, nothing you can do but, like, be happy, you know? But any team can do anything if you're off your game. Showed map 1, they smoked us back-to-back times. We got a blessed, you know, reset, and they still smoked us. So it's not over yet. Time to lock in, and yeah.
Time to lock in. Draza, thank you so much for joining me in this interview. What an impressive performance. We're going to be seeing them later today, but make noise.
All right, well, GG's FaZe. That was a great game. You know, next time for sure. But hey, still $120,000, $160,000. That was insane.
In the grand finals. Here on the stage, I have a very happy Clayster, a smiling alley cat, and a shameful nameless. Nameless, anything you want to say to everyone on Twitter right now?
Man, I count my chickens a little bit too early. I really thought Optic after that map 1, they were going to run away with it, but Atlanta FaZe putting in that work, bringing it back.
12-in-1 map count you were pointing out. Ridiculous run.
Unreal.
This is now Optic down. This is 100 Thieves down, and they could potentially match up against 100 Thieves again. Let's walk through these maps and modes, though, Ali. Did you think it was Atlanta FaZe's match after seeing the maps and modes, or simply the fact that they were facing off against Optic?
I feel like when it comes to this matchup, you can't feel like guaranteed even when you look at the map set, because either of these teams could take each other on at any given day. But I will say, when I saw that invasion control, I felt worried for Optic Texas. I said the point earlier that the biggest difference between these two teams was Atlanta FaZe has dominated the control in this matchup, and they have dominated invasion with an 80% defensive win rate. Optic sits 20% below that, and you saw it with Atlanta FaZe able to take the only offense in that round and end up winning that map.
Clay, Atlanta FaZe finally showing their true strength on a Sunday. Who was most impressive from this squad in your eyes?
From top to bottom, I think they all did what they needed to do. They all had rotational gunfight wins, anchor wins, they were slaying, two-piecing. But honestly, my MVP's got to be Celium. In that map 3, he was not losing Water Street repeatedly, holding down the bridge, holding down those Hummers, not letting Optic out of their spawns, and there's not much you can do when Celium's going off like that.
I'm going to go with Celium played great. I'm going to go with Simp, and here is why. Matching the AR on the other side against Pred on Optic's best map in the sub-base to close out the series is massive. Atlanta FaZe added that map to their map set in order to do that.
Ali, who would you give MVP to?
I would give it to Abizi. I think he's played incredible the whole weekend, and in this series, he was the reason they won that search and destroy, but I think we should find out who it actually is.
Well, I'm giving your Bravia MVP to...
Where's our key?
Show us the key.
Give it
Show
to
us
Draza?
Show us. It's got to be Draza.
Yeah, okay.
We all choose a winner. Draza was mine. I get the final say. Let's take a look at the CEO, baby. Draza also one of the key factors in that invasion. If you're watching him from Humvees, so many times Optic was trying to single him out. He and Celium working incredible as the AR duo locked it in.
Yeah, and he also had an incredible map number 2 as well. He was right along with Abizi behind him, sitting at 9 and 3. He wasn't getting the first bloods, but the second his teammates were in a pinch, he was the one on top of the tree.
Damn.
Yeah, and you know, coming into this year, obviously, the last year matchup between Optic and FaZe, it always went Optic's way. Atlanta FaZe, they go ahead and they pick up Draza, and in my eyes, it's because of the added aggression why they've had the edge in this matchup on the year 7-1. But Clay, as somebody who played against them with these last 2 years, why does Draza give them such an edge?
I genuinely believe it's his intelligence. The way he moves around the map and the way he controls the flow of the entire map, it's so hard to deal with because he shoots so straight on top of it. He's bringing that energy, he's bringing that passion, and I truly believe he's the lifeblood of this Atlanta FaZe team.
He brings that confidence, and he lets you know it on stage. Excellence in action.
All right, well, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. I'll be back in a minute. We'll go ahead and keep watching here. Now we're gonna go ahead and be rooting for LA Thieves because yeah, I'm also an LA Thieves fan. But I'll be back in just a minute, guys. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick.
Twice we go into the high-rise search and destroy. There was a 1-versus-1 Draza versus Dashy, and Draza broke Dashy's iron so hard, and I know what that does for confidence. And I guarantee you the momentum just started rolling from there.
The highest percentage I've seen from our fans was 82% for Optic. That was way back on day 2. Let's check in on our polls and see, did the audience get it right?
Oh, wow.
This one almost split 50-50.
Maybe the close
Atlanta FaZe fans awake, watching their squad perform. Optic Gaming, sadly, now exits our tournament with $160,000 more in their pockets and a 4th place finish.
Hey man, not a bad weekend, I will say. And you look at Atlanta FaZe, they are now in your grand final. We have Surge versus 100T up next. We'll see if they can get it
Let's take a look at that bracket to remind everybody how we got to this position. Clayster, it's been a fun road, a lot of game 5s. Will we see more as this tournament goes on?
I hope we do see a game 5 in this lower part of the bracket with 100 Thieves versus Surge, and then of course the grand finals at best of 7. Maybe we go the distance and get all 7 maps?
They're going 5, Allie.
I think actually we'll go 5. I think these two teams
too.
are incredibly evenly matched.
100 Thieves, Vancouver Surge. Who is going to join Atlanta FaZe in the grand finals here at EWC 2024? Stay tuned to find out.
My name is Miles Ross. I'm here at the Esports World Cup, and I am joined by Joe Deceives of 100 Thieves.
What's good, Miles?
Everything's good, Joe. Thanks very much. How you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. Feeling excited.
Chilling. You've been here, what? You got late last night?
Yeah, I got here super late last night, yeah.
Yeah, you enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah.
Having fun?
Place is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
cool. Really cool.
Player lodge is insane. The hotel's insane.
Insane. You know what else was insane, Joe? You guys at Champs. Well done, man. What a great run that was. You beat Ultra. That was a big surprise. Obviously, the crowd was crazy. You in particular, I thought you had a really good tournament. You were so exciting to watch. You were chatting a lot of this. How did all that feel? How was that event for you?
I mean, it felt great. You know, obviously, like, some of the losses hurt a lot, but, I mean, just, you know, playing those matches, having those close matches, you know, winning with that first round versus Toronto, taking my headset off, hearing the crowd go insane. Best thing in the world.
Yeah. You want to play Toronto again this event?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Right always fun.
Always fun. Right on. We've seen your team progress quite a lot throughout the year. A lot has changed. Has much changed since Champs? Because obviously this is the first time in a very long time that there's been an event after a CDL championship. How's it going?
I mean, I feel like a lot has definitely changed in, like, a positive way. I feel like our teamwork's gotten even better, which is insane to say, I feel like. I feel like we've just gotten more confident in each other, especially after, you know, how we played at Champs, so, yeah.
That's really cool, man. It's exciting to see you know, what's going to happen this weekend. Joe, you were a Challengers player for a single event last year. What does this event mean to you as a rookie or as a young player, as a chance to show your skill? Do you think this is a big deal with the Esports World Cup?
100% it's a big deal, you know? I mean, the prize pool's big. You know, there's a lot of teams here, international competition. I mean, it's a really big event, you know? It's just another big event. I'm excited. I'm always happy to play at these.
What do you think this means to younger players like you were to get a shot against CDL pros and to play on the biggest stage COD's ever seen?
I mean, you know, for my first event last year, I got to play at the Pro-Am, and playing against those, you know, I played FaZe, London, Seattle, you know, playing against those teams that I watched a lot, you know, growing up when I was thinking, you know, I could go pro, and playing against them was a great feeling. So I know how it feels for those challenger teams, those young players. I know how it feels to play against them for the first time.
Cool, man. Well, it sounds like you're very confident going into this one, and good vibes all round going into the tournament. Let's put on like a hypothetical question now.
Yeah.
Black Ops 6, 2 months away. What do you want to see in the game as a submachine gun player? What are you excited about?
I mean, it's always the map. I feel like, you know, a lot of these games that we play have great mechanics, but the maps just aren't always, you know, the best. But yeah, I feel like the maps are just make or break.
Oh, interesting. What about the ARs? Anything there?
Nerf headshot multiplier, please.
I think you're safe. Don't worry, man. I think you're safe. Speaking of that, there's been a lot of maps where in this game, in MW3, 3 ARs, you know, 3 SMGs, a lot of changes there. Is that something you like as a player? Is that something you think adds a layer of skill to the game?
I think so, yeah. I think having flexible players like that just make the game more fun, because like you said, you see 3 subs, which I know viewers love seeing, you know, Rio, stuff like that. I know 3 ARs is a bit boring, but even just like as a skill thing, I feel like having that, like a player like that that's super flexible, I think it's always great to see.
Always great to see, man. Well, dude, last question for you. Who do you want to play in the tournament? Who do you want to absolutely body this week?
FaZe.
Didn't hesitate for a second.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you very much, man. Good luck in the tournament. Hello, my name is Miles Ross. I'm here at the Esports World Cup, and I am joined by a boozer of the Vancouver Surge. I'm going to get used to that. Mate, welcome to Saudi Arabia. Welcome to Riyadh. How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. We have some simple questions for you, some fun ones. We just want to see how you're feeling about the tournament ahead.
Honestly, it was pretty excited, for sure, for me. The tournament looks pretty good, honestly. And yeah, I want to wait. I want to play right now.
You got to wait, man. You got to wait. Let's talk about the season for you. You've won the nominations for Rookie of the Year. You've come from Belgium. What do you think are some of the advantages the European players have over North American players in the Call of Duty scene?
I honestly don't know, like the difference, like if you are like, I have no clue. Other thing is like, it's different for everyone, you know, like, but I have no idea, like if you have some advantage or something, you know, like, I don't think so.
No advantage? You think maybe, I mean, we think of some of the, in recent memory, Hydra from France, yourself, there's a lot of talent coming from Europe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
some good players coming out of there.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I don't know why, to be honest, but.
All right. Well,
that's good.
Yeah, that's
Keep
good.
it coming.
Optic,
Keep it coming.
unfortunately,
With regards
was
to
the
this
top
tournament,
4,
the Esports World Cup,
which is not bad.
what does it mean to you? How important
You know,
is this
top
tournament
4.
for you?
We did win
for us,
champs,
it's
so that's
very
pretty
important.
much
I mean, like we
a win for us right
like
there.
4
And
champs.
then, I mean,
So it's like a good
unfortunately,
tournament
you
for
know,
us to
we
bounce
ended up
back,
going
you know.
out
A very
out
unique
on this one.
opportunity
But
to
hey,
bounce back.
Yeah.
We don't normally get
not a bad
the same
performance
vibes.
from the
That's
boys.
true. Yeah, this is the first time, so yeah.
Just gotta
You
move
came
over
from
into the
champ.
next year now.
You made it to the CDL. Now
I'm
you're
really
doing
excited
the
for
Esports
next
World
year.
Cup.
So yeah.
Is there any
I
comparisons?
can't
so far
wait
these
to
events? What was
get
it like
started
being a
with
challenge player?
that
What's it like being a CDL player
that new
now?
Black Ops
What's it like
6
being-
game.
I mean,
So
it's pretty
that should be
different,
super
for
fun.
sure. Like you being training pretty good in CDL, and it's clearly not the same. Like even like just playing on like good PC, good monitor, like it's so different. So
I do have like a
and
little
playing in
like
front of
pinch on my
the crowd
back.
and like on the stage is.
While we
nothing
wait
can
for
give you
this
that,
game to
like, you
start,
know,
I'm
like
gonna go
the
ahead and
energy,
stretch a
you know,
little
like,
bit.
so that's pretty sick.
Do you ever talk to your friends or family back home about what this feels like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's gonna say like it's insane, you know, like, and it is. So yeah.
Have your family, have they made a trip out to these events to see you play?
No, just my girlfriend at this moment. So, and that's it.
I hope they get to see you play in the future, man. It's very, very cool. There haven't been many tournaments or many experiences in the past for Challengers players to match up against the CDL pros. What do you think this is going to be like for you, and how important do you think that is for the young talent?
I think it's very important for them, like to have the chance to play against like some CDL teams. I think it's really sick for them. Like we needed that in Challengers since like long time, you know. So it's pretty good for sure.
Why do you think it's so important for Challengers players to play against the
I mean,
CDL?
just to know and compare you like against the best, you know, like you wanna play against the best to know, like, and I think it's pretty good for them for sure.
What does it feel like to be a rookie who's being well celebrated now? What does it feel like to be in the CDL at this point?
I mean, it's pretty good for sure. You know, like,
I'm gonna stand up one more time. I need to do a quick
being a
stretch.
rookie mean nothing for me. Like, you know,
cause my back, man.
I'm not 18, so you know, so that's fine for me. And yeah, that's it.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's your upcoming showdown. 100 Thieves facing off against Hook and Vancouver Surge. This should be a good one if you've been following the track record for both teams. Seattle Surge dominant through their group. They stole Group B over Cloud9. That was a 3-1 performance to lock in their spot in the playoffs. For 100 Thieves, not as easy. You lost to Atlanta FaZe, and then you had to pull off a ridiculous run against Toronto Ultra yesterday, Alley Cat.
Yeah, but the thing is both these teams are kind of at the same level. 100 Thieves have been beating everybody they're supposed to. Unfortunately, fall to Atlanta, which is a matchup for them. So this could easily go to a Game 5.
Let's take a look at our bracket to remind everybody how we got here. Nicholas, walk me through this
or my
bottom
computer
portion.
almost
Yeah, you can
pooped
see
his
we had
pants
the
here. I
massive
dropped to
upset
30
100
frames.
Thieves
Jesus
over the
Christ.
Toronto Ultra in a Game 5. Kremp went nuts to put them in that position. And then the surprise of the weekend, the Vancouver Surge have been performing in the Search and Destroys. They get it done in a Game 5 as well over the Ravens.
Yeah, and Vancouver Surge, they got my trade. They knocked
There
the
you go.
Ravens out in a Game 5. But this matchup coming up with 100 Thieves and Surge, they both have talked about how their S&D has been the focal point coming into this event. So I truly do believe whoever steals the S&Ds in this series is probably going to win the whole one.
Well, that call out, we'll see if it gets to a Game 5. But first, let's introduce you to the competitors playing for Nade Shots, 100 Thieves. We got to introduce Byron, a.k.a. Nasty, Mr. Consistent. You got Kremp. He's been the X Factor in S&D. But we're looking for Dan Ghosty to have a big Sunday.
Man, I had a
That's crazy,
a
because Dan
weird
Ghosty has been
pressure
their most consistent
like
player, been
on
their
the
damage
blade
dealer,
of
been
my
that guy for
freaking
this team
shoulders
all
back
season
here,
long.
just
But
like
this
in the
weekend,
middle
it's
back
been
there.
Nasty and
And-
Kremp putting
oh my
on a
God.
show. And if they can continue that, it's literally only a matter of time until Joe has one of his takeover series and Dan to get back to his former ways. So if you're Vancouver Surge, you cannot be taking this 100 Thieves team lightly.
Yeah, Chris, Alley, I love that call. I mean, these guys have picked up the slack for Dan Ghosty, who's been their best respawn player all year long. And on Search and Destroy, they have just started to click. It's been unbelievable, but they're going up against Search, who haven't lost one on the entire weekend.
Yesterday, Clay, they were down 2-1 to Toronto before rallying off a Game 4 and a Game 5 victory. Let's talk about their opponents today, though. Can you do the same thing to Vancouver Surge? Will they give you an opportunity to get back in the series?
There are two different play styles. Toronto Ultra plays a very fundamental, a very composed style of play, but when you're playing Vancouver Surge, these guys are kind of flying all over the map. Yeah. They're playing with reckless abandon and just doing whatever they want. So I definitely think the matchup is going to be a little bit different.
I sat down next to Hook for breakfast. He was all smiles for the 4th day in a row. I don't normally see this, and we haven't really talked about this man. 0-4, kind of under the radar. Everyone's been highlighting Abuza's performance, what Hook and Brezzy have done. 0-4, when he's playing well, that's when you're seeing the Surge take some dubs.
The problem is, though, is that he can be a little bit inconsistent, right? With a very high ceiling comes sometimes a very low floor. So I hope he got some good rest today and is ready to come out swinging.
It's a fantastic showdown with some incredible young talent, and we caught up with a member of each team. It's Joe Deceives in 04. Here's what they had to say.
That's cool.
We got Joe of 100 Thieves. We got 04 of Surge, and we're standing right next to the Key Crush. Guys, you were here yesterday. You know what it's like to break hearts at this tournament. Carolina Royal Ravens, Toronto Ultra, you crushed their keys. Which one of you, in a matter of hours' time, will be standing here getting your key crushed?
Me, for sure.
You're going to be crushing his key?
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
I mean, listen, that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Shortly, you'll be on the stage competing for a spot in that grand final. Now, the interesting thing is, you guys are undefeated out here. Do you think that that gives you a little bit of a mental advantage against 100 Thieves?
Maybe a little bit, but I know it don't play a huge part into the game. So as long as we stick to our game plan, I think we'll be all right.
What do you make of this team?
I mean, you know, like you said, they're undefeated. They're a good team, you know. So I'm excited to play against them. But you gotta lose at some point. So
I feel a little bit of tension in the air here, guys. I don't know if it's just me. Can we just get you looking at each other just for a moment here before we get into this crucial semi-final? There is a lot of money on the line here. You said to me yesterday, you don't think about the money. Big part of you wants to take these guys out personally, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want the bragging rights from him.
What do you want to say to him?
I mean, he know he can't kill me. So we're going to come out high and hopefully take this win.
What do you want to say to this guy?
I mean, listen, bro. Like, they're a good team. I respect them, so I'm excited to play.
All right, good stuff. Listen, you're respectable men, and you're ready for this semi-final. Give us a fist bump, and we'll get into it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, you love to see him having fun. I was getting Step Brothers vibes right there. Adversaries at first, but across their Call of Duty careers, eventually they'll be sharing bunk beds. Let's talk about the duo here, though, for each team. If you're going to dial in on two players nameless, who are you looking at for Vancouver Surge? Who are you looking at for 100 Thieves?
Yeah, it's the SMG duo for sure, Chris. I'm looking at 04 and I'm looking at Hook. When you talk about those guys, 04 has matched Hook's speed. He always needs that dynamic duo. You think back to Hook and Shotzi when they were when Hook was at his best, it's because he had another player with that movement who can take space on the map. And it would be the same thing for 100 Thieves for me. The SMG duo. Kremp has been unbelievable so far this weekend.
You also had a few goats there on the roster. Clayster, what do you see from 100 Thieves? What are you looking at in this matchup?
Obviously, Kremp just has to keep doing what he's doing. He's been performing phenomenally in S&D. The island player plays where his whole team's on one side of the map and he's on the other, making moves, hitting gaps in their setups. I expect Kremp and Joe Deceives to play their game.
Alley Cat, when I was here for Overwatch, the most important game mode was Game 1. Whoever won that first map in the best of 5 seemed to go on to the next round. What's the most important map in your eyes? Is it early on in the series or the finishers?
It just depends on what teams are matching up. When it comes to these two, it's the Search and Destroy. So that map 2 for me is going to be everything. They're both on a winning streak right now. 100 Thieves on a 3-map win streak on Search and Destroy. On the flip side, Vancouver Search is on 4. So both these teams going to be in a serious battle for 2 and 5. And looking at this map layout, I can't really
okay.
lean
6-star
hardpoint,
high-rise S&D, Karachi Control, Karachi hardpoint, and Rio S&D. Interesting.
Shane versus Rambo Ray. You love to see the old guard leading their team when it comes to the picks and bans. Clay, what's your vibe, though?
My
vibe
is definitely that Rambo made some good moves this year with picking up 04, picking up Brezzy, adding him to the roster. Something I want to look out for, though, is that Rio S&D Game 5. If 100 Thieves gets to that Rio S&D, it's going to get scary for Surge.
I'm liking this when I look at it for Surge, especially the high-rise S&D.
Yeah.
For some reason, Brezi's super comfortable on that map. Seen him winning a lot of 1v2s. I think they feel good.
Who does Atlanta FaZe want to win this matchup?
100 Thieves for sure, because they already beat them. They 3-0 bopped them out of the
I can see
tournament. It's
that,
a
yeah.
really tough matchup for them. And again, like Ant said, this is great for Vancouver Surge early. If you talk about the high-rise S&D, Vancouver Surge is very strong. Excuse me, not high-rise S&D. The control. They're very strong at the attack. Couldn't Rachi. There's a lot of opportunity for that. On the flip side, for 100 Thieves, when it comes to high-rise, you don't typically try to plant the bomb that much. And they're a team with 70% post-plant win percentage. High-rise isn't going to give them that much of an advantage. So I'm looking at Vancouver Surge early.
Go ahead,
Something that I'm worried about for 100 Thieves in this series is the space that's taken by Surge on these maps. You saw versus the Royal Ravens in that game 5 every single time. Like, if you leave a gap, they will take it away from you. And then the preparation, they were hitting Ravens with pre-nades early in the round, getting those first bloods. The Surge come to play in Surge. They have prepared. They have watched all the VOD in the world. It's going to be tough for 100 Thieves who like to play the same game.
Wait, sir, I want to ask about the macro, right? You knew you made it to Championship Sunday. You're here in the semifinals. But on both sides, you have some very young players. If you're a veteran like Hook on this roster, if you're the old man on the team in Mr. Dan Ghosty, what are you telling your squad?
Just play it like it's a scrim. You can't think about the money. You can't think about the stage. You can't think about the prestige from winning the Esports World Cup here in Riyadh. You just have to say, hey, guys, we played thousands of Call of Duty maps this year. This is just another 3 to 5 maps. Let's just go out there, have some fun, play our game.
You know how it gets, though. The comms can get wild. So that being said, Hook and Dan Ghosty, respectively, on either side, gonna have to calm these guys down, because this is the biggest match a lot of these guys have ever played in their entire careers. One match away from the grand final, going up against Atlanta FaZe.
Sorry for the stutter earlier. I just got some great news. We have a key crush. It's available. Let's check it out. What is going on backstage?
All right,
with
well,
Atlanta FaZe? Who gets
here we
the
go.
honors? They give it to Draza. CEO gets the opportunity to put his foot down.
Jinx, yep, it is a CEO that he likes to claim himself of Optic Texas. He gets to watch that key crush. And look at him, just like Preddy, he's grinning looking at that thing. Y'all are evil.
It's the hopes and dreams. It's just one of the best things about Call of Duty.
Hard.
It does go hard. They had the whole squad out there now representing. I definitely think that 100 Thieves has something to prove against Atlanta FaZe if they get there. Joe DeCeive said many times, I want to play FaZe, I want to play FaZe. They played him once already, got bopped. I think they want that rematch.
And as we look at the bracket, like, what's crazy about this, there's no second chances, right? I think that's something us and the players are just not used to, because sometimes, like, okay, Atlanta beat Optic Gaming, they'll go down to a limb, they'll come back up. Nope, not this time.
Not here. It was all seeded by group, single elimination through the playoffs. This is our final best of 5 in the tournament. Grand Finals is a best of 7. So let's talk about this matchup and let's get our predictions in. We want you to head on over to stcplay.gg. Let us know, how do you see this series going? Last time, 47% of you picked the right squad. Do you guys think it's going to be that close in the polls once again, Clay?
I definitely think the polls are going to be extremely close for this match. It's so hard to tell. They're so evenly matched. The play styles are definitely very similar. So I think it's going to be the most even split we've had all event.
Nameless, last time I rushed you. This time we got about 50 seconds left. So give it to me straight. How does this match play out? What is the final map count?
Listen, 100T have gotten to this point, and Dan Ghosty hasn't even played his best Call of Duty. He was a top 5 AR on the year. He's about to put his stamp on this one, and they get the dub. Run it up. 100T get this one done in 4.
4.
Not only that, they are 1-1 on this season. So this is also kind of their tiebreaker for the entirety of the Pro League. And I think I have to go with 100 Thieves. Although the map set goes in the favor of Vancouver Surge, they've played really well. I believe in the younger squad.
Clay, we got 30 seconds left. So final question for you. Do you want to be the team in Atlanta FaZe who is watching this right now, getting ready for the Grand Finals, or do you want to play in this semis leading up to the Grand Finals just 50 minutes after?
I think you want to be this match right now. You want to be warmed up. You don't want to be cold. Atlanta FaZe is sitting in their pro room right now just waiting, sitting on their hands just waiting, just waiting. You want to be the team that played nearest. I'm going 100 Thieves, baby. I've been riding them for the last 2 events. I believe.
All right, hold on.
5 seconds till this battle kicks off. It's the final semifinal. Let's go to the Amazon Arena.
What a way to kick off Championship Sunday. And we are only just getting started because our second semi-final has arrived.
These two, they have competed last time and the Thieves were able to figure out the code to the safe. Can they do it again? Please welcome to the stage your second set of semi-finalists, Vancouver Surge versus 100 Thieves!
Okay, I have a photo shoot later today, so I was just kind of texting the person that we're going to be doing the photo shoot. So
These teams went the distance yesterday, and both of them claimed their
we'll get ready for later today.
Glorious fashion.
Ah, man.
I'll tell you what, Kayali, I think
Unfortunate. But
Teams,
we're going to go ahead and
place
take a
your
look
keys.
at the next match here of 100 Thieves versus Surge.
Search and Destroy
Should be
is
fun, should be
particularly
fun.
strong for both of these teams, but who's got the edge?
Yes, Barney, let's see that. Just one more best of 5, and you will be either in the audience or here on the stage, creating your own legacy in the first eSports World Cup. Let's get to it.
That's hilarious. Oh. I still have that little pinch on my
Welcome
back,
back to the Amazon
man.
Arena here at the Esports World Cup. And like Ali had said, not a lot of history between these two squads. One meeting back in May is the most recent. Otherwise, you got to go all the way back to December. So almost strangers playing against each other here on the main stage.
And it was never on the main stage where they actually matched up against each other. It was all throughout the qualifier. Major 1 qualifiers, Vancouver won the first set. Then you go to Major 3 qualifiers, 100T get their revenge there. So this is an even matchup, a revenge game. Who's going to be able to edge out the other?
It's going to be a really fun one. Shift with Study, of course. And again, I think the thing about this is the Search and Destroys do lean towards one team or the other. But everything else in the respawns do feel like they're going to be pretty evenly matched. The only real question mark for me, though, Jay, is 100 Thieves have not played 6-star or Karachi Hardpoints yet on the weekend.
But the good thing for them in that opening Hardpoint 4 to 6-star, they are the #1 team on the season when you talk about rotation win percentage. They are also the #1 team when you talk about that break percentage. They are getting a lot of this time when it comes down to those situations, but we know how fast Vancouver can play. 0-4 and Hoop, the fastest players that we had throughout the entire season. You got to be prepared for the pace that they're going to send.
And I think the thing, too, is Abusa has looked unbelievable. Like, if Vancouver, let's just sell the Cinderella story. If they go on and win this thing, he's definitely EWC MVP in my mind. Well, again, a lot of fiery conversation has been talking about the Rookie of the Year, but thing is, he has been in prime form, dominating in every single matchup that we've seen to this point.
And this is a very young matchup between both of these teams because you got 3 rookies on one side and you got 4 players on the opposing side who are in their second year in the pro league. So this is all about who wants it more, who's ready for the pressure to make your way into a grand finals versus an Atlanta FaZe roster. I know if you're 100T, you want to get that rematch to right the wrongs of the earlier series.
Well, let's take a look at our series layout here one more time. Like we had already kind of alluded towards, 6-star and Karachi Hardpoints, 100 Thieves have not played yet on the weekend. For Vancouver, they've played each once, a loss on the 6-star, a win on the Karachi. The Search and Destroys, though, is where things get really compelling because for Vancouver, they've looked really good on High Rise Search. On the other front, 100 Thieves have looked really good on the Map 5 Rio Search.
Yeah, they're so far 4-0 this weekend.
All right, here we go. Fist pumps coming in.
Search and Destroy. So they had been battle tested, and the same thing could be said for Toronto. For 100 Thieves because they were able to take down the Toronto Ultra all the way into game number 5 out of a stellar performance, not only from Kremp, who drops 15, but Ghosty coming alive and earning himself that cruise missile in the middle of that game. I think this is going to be the most tight series that we have on the entire weekend. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. 6-star for the opening hard point. Should be a real fun battleground. Who's going to come out and assert the tone of this series first? We know what Vancouver like to do, but can Dan Ghosty show up for maybe even arguably the first time this weekend and allow 100 Thieves a chance to get the opener? Good, decent stunt coming through from Hook. Shut down those 100 Thieves, find the first 2 kills.
And you can already see it. They were prepared for the aggression out of Vancouver. They were trying to push through to instantly flip those spawns. You have a double stack around that middle map area, and it leads to a clean 4 dead. So the Thieves coming out swinging early into this game.
How about first 4 kills for Kremp? Turn that into 5 quickly. Does get naded, has to hold his ground over towards DJ Booth just to try to get this early cruise missile, which is an astonishing start. And, nearly literally gets the better of Abuza, but the final shot lands and the streak is shut down as Surge make their move.
Now we're on the final 15 seconds at P1, still in control of the spawns is going to be 100 Thieves, and all the hill time, all the trades going in their favor. So if you are Vancouver, you are forced to find a break, which they are very successful at doing on the map like 6-star, second overall throughout the entire league. And they're going to need to find success early on before this game gets out of hand.
It's just no one's getting through Cramp. 6-1. Ghosty also off to a 4-1 start. 0-4 tallied up towards the baby pool on the left, and that's enough for another clean wipe to come through, except for Abuza, who gets around the back, but it's red, and 100 Thieves are off to the races.
You can already tell the communication is in sync right now for the Thieves. They are accounting for every single player on the side of the Surge, and it's very difficult to do so with how fast they play, but here comes Abuza and Brezzy, the ARs for Vancouver. They find 3 kills in the feed. The break comes in,
Suleiman, how's it going?
Trophy systems deleted. Vancouver replaced one of their own. Abuza trying to hold on to this back elbow.
Account.
Pushed off by nades. Stop from the front.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's Hook and Brezzy for all 4, and now all of a sudden there's 4 in a row for Hook.
Well, thank you for coming back in with a different account.
They're going to put themselves in a position to be at that new hill early off this new rotation. You have 0-4 finding a couple cutoff kills through the middle of the match.
Did you go out of your way to create a new account?
Now it's Nasty, last player alive. You want to play your life because look how far.
Or did you already have that one?
Yeah, the problem is that Vancouver have read this, but the Semtex lands. Brezzy forced to take the engagement, and he does at least win it. Vancouver not going to have the prime setup that they want, though, from the front side of the hill. And with that, 100 Thieves can jump the wall and try to get themselves in, but 0-4 shuts it down single-handedly. A stun locks him in place, but the damage has already been dealt. 100 Thieves still trying to contest, but immediately bounced out of the hill.
Surge are right back into this game now. Flawless off that P2 to P3 rotation. They withstand that first push coming in, but Nasty, the dirty work player for this 100 Thieves roster.
That's your
Finding
grandpa's
a couple clutch kills in the moment. Now he's also able to find the third. He's able to find the 4th. Nasty just had himself a takeover.
Oh my god.
Ghosty trying to follow up
That's
behind
hilarious.
him. He's going to have Joe Deceives with him. Final 15-second fight as 100 Thieves continue
Well,
to
appreciate you joining with a different account, but you don't have to.
Oh my goodness. Nasty 10-5. What a time for him to start to pop off as Thieves will win the scrap and enjoy about a 40-point lead to rotate to do.
Seattle Surge, Vancouver Surge, apologies, are going to have the rotation over towards New. They start off with the initial 3 kills in the feed, so now Thieves will force the break once again. They are the best breaking team that we have on 6-star. Can they find success early on, or at least keep this contested, because we know how impactful this P4 hardpoint can be to get yourself back into this one.
Couple of question marks here for Vancouver on this opening setup, but Brezzy from the backside of the secret catwalk able to find at least a response towards this play over at security. Now the full focus for Surge right towards the middle of the map, as this is a 2v4 elected fight coming over for 100 Thieves, and it gets absolutely shut down, and with that, Vancouver clean in the first 40.
Vancouver's setup right now is flawless. The fact that
Jesus
they were all spread out, winning
Christ.
their one-on-one gunfights, all their bases covered. Now they're controlling the spawns. If you are the Thieves, you cannot try to attempt a break at this P4 through mid-connector. Surge take the lead right on back, and only taking this final 10 seconds, they're already showing presence around this middle map area.
And 0-4 is looking for kill number 5. Yeah, really good read on Joe Deceives. Does he get the information onto Ghosty? Sure seems to know he's there. And the shots are perfect. First cruise missile will be tallied in favor of Vancouver, who win the rotation to bar, and now all of a sudden have a chance to gain a 40-point lead of their own.
And the cruise missile is a big difference, especially on a map like 6-star. With Vancouver now in control of P1, you would hope that Hoop would have gotten at least 1 kill over towards Steps, because the trade spikes now in the advantage position for the Thieves. They are flying in, they find that break, and now Surge got to work their way back on in.
The map continues to ebb and flow evenly between these two squads. 30 seconds to battle over. Booth from the mid-connector, stunned up. Joe finds the trade. Now it's just down to what else can he do. Second kill is decent. Tries to go to the Semtex, shut down. Ghosty looking for a double, and nice snap over to 0-4. Who
I know, yeah, it's old. There's not much that I can do about it. It looks kind of cool, to be honest.
Ghosty starting to get activated. His worst KD on the season so far here at EWC, sitting at a .9.
It's a special effect that I added in there, you know.
Basically a tie game going into the second half at P2. Thieves are going to go to try to attempt this break opportunity. Let's step aside and go to listening with the Thieves.
Okay. Kind of one shot.
Take your time. Wait, Alfred dead. Nice, good job. Nothing in shot time, nothing in shot time. Nice. I'm waiting. He went back, he's diving mid. Back Alright, listen, pushing out the front. Pushing out the front. They know we flip. They know we flip. I take a mid steps. I send him as well.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, man, no worries. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with with me. I appreciate that. Have fun playing your game, and maybe I'll see you sometime in the future. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You're joining from, what is it? It's like 3 accounts? 3-4 accounts? We'll see you, bro.
I'm ring. He shot me from ring on 4. I'm cutting for. I'm going half, okay? One's ring. I think they spawned out. Really? Yeah, one's ring. Yeah, they did. Statue really good.
Wow, you can definitely tell that there are some moments there where 100 Thieves were a little bit discoordinated, but hey, that listening, pretty perfect, channeling out with the same timings, calling for the heavy pushes, and now 100 Thieves have a chance to break from the front.
Yeah, they're setting up for these team pushes. The communication is on point, but 04 is causing havoc this time with the Renetti. It's already 4 dead in the feed. Thieves all the way across the map. Keep in mind, he still has that cruise missile just in case the Thieves find success on this break, but Vancouver changing it up so far on this 6-star. They have struggled in that rotation aspect, but they have won a majority of them so far.
And a lot of it is thanks to this guy right here. 21 and 15, over a minute in the hill already, as Vancouver will have to try to hit through old on their way to do. 20 seconds of scrap time to fight for. Here comes the pinch around the back, but just as soon as it starts to develop, you've got a really solid read from 100 Thieves, and 04 can't continue on that pursuit. So now it's just about trying to get a rotational win over towards New.
And that's what the aggression needed to slow down a bit. You needed to let 04 open up that pinch angle and then attack through that front side to allow the Thieves to keep themselves into this game. They're winning the rotation now over towards P4. 10-point difference. If you are 04, this might be an opportunity where you have to invest that cruise.
And indeed he will. You've got some success from Abuza at mid, so now it's just down to getting a read on where the players are in front of the hill and who will be able to take down Ghosty. So now it's just down to winning the gunfights on the hill itself. A little bit of trouble getting through Joe Deceive. Stuns.
All right, so LA with LA Thieves, not LA Thieves, 100 Thieves with the lead now.
And wouldn't you know it, 04
oh my God!
And he's going to be able to find 2, nearly the third. Leaves a 1v1 for Abuza, but with help on the way, 100 Thieves will hold.
That's fantastic plays out of these players to just trade out effectively, withstand that cruise missile coming in and still hold on to this hard point. 15 seconds still to fight for. You got Hook just flying on in, trying to contest it. 04 last man standing. A stun is going to connect, but he still finds the kill.
Still, 100 Thieves with the lead, going back to P1.
Now the Thieves are going to throw a nice little 20-point lead. Back to the third rotation we go.
I mean, really, outside of a couple of absolutely miraculous doubles and triples out of Vancouver, 100 Thieves have played the map tremendously well. And now all of a sudden, those patterns and trends that continue to build in favor of the Thieves are leading to one of our largest leads to this point. Again, getting right about that 40-point mark. Ghosty shutting things down over towards the aquarium, and 100 Thieves are comfortable inside the bar hill.
Okay, Thieves with the lead, almost 40 points.
One by one, and the Thieves are picking you apart. Ghosty is catching every single read on 4 in a row. 2 of earning himself his
04 was frying, but now he went 7 lives down. Jesus Christ.
But 04 again with the double.
It just feels like every single time that Vancouver is about to be completely eliminated out of the hill, someone puts together a double and allows the next free break to come out. So again, hero moments for Vancouver. Keep this game well within reach as we look over towards P2. Vancouver spawning on the favored side.
Final 10 seconds in favor of the Surge. Rotation as well. Over towards this P2 hard point. All of these players attacking through that front end. Nasty at least finds a gunfight through the middle, but Abuza's going to spawn right in towards the back. This is where you got to take advantage. 4v3.
Absolutely. All of it coming from the front, and 04 is the first one to drop. Late to this hill is going to be Abuza. Kremp naded on the side pool, but Nasty finding 2 from the front. It's just down to can you find where the final player is, and Brezzy will fall off the map.
No,
so
Brezzy.
But
04 with those kills.
They got to
Jesus.
get in. They're trapped in towards the backside. You need one wave of kills to go your way, but Nasty and
04
Joe
shooting,
getting it
man.
done. Nasty on 4 in a row. 15 seconds till they take map 1.
Oh, but Nasty gets caught off the reload. Doesn't make a difference, though.
Oh, one more push, one more thing. Oh, no, that's done. It's done.
Second not going to be there.
That's done.
That's
done. Nice. 100 Thieves with the win.
Great macro play through
That's
map
awesome.
1. Take a convincing win.
Fantastic plays from the Thieves. Slow start at the beginning of the game. You allowed Surge to start to pull away. But once you were able to realize what the Surge were throwing at you, we take down 04. Don't allow him to get a double. We should put ourselves in a very, very good spot. as it was the turning point of the game at that second P3 when Vancouver were initially winning the rotation. They found themselves
Okay,
on the
100
right side
Thieves
of
with the
map.
win.
But then the Thieves, this is what they
We're
do
gonna go
best.
into,
Work on those
what was
breaks,
it,
set it up
Karachi
properly.
Search
They
and
work
Destroy,
their
I
way
think
through
it
the
was.
front. Nasty starts it off by
Oh,
finding multi-kill
the
after
game is
multi-kill.
0-0 right
And then you
now.
hold that,
Beautiful,
you chain it over
awesome.
to the P4 with
It's gonna be a
Sandy.
full
Boost
reset,
missile
guys.
coming
Full
in.
reset.
And that was the runaway moment in that game for Thieves. They take map 1.
Yeah, I think, you know, kind of looking back over it, if you want the spark notes, even though the Surge were finding great hero moments, Nasty provided just enough response and some hero moments of his own, to be fair, to where he was able to at least keep the game from being too runaway from the side of Vancouver. And then Ghosty coming in massive in the macro game, helping Thieves continue to win rotation, continue to set up good breaks. And I think that's really what impressed me the most about this 100 Thieves team on this map that they had not played yet this weekend.
And that's the Ghosty that we tend to have fallen in love with so far in this season. He's been a top 5 AR all season long, and he shows it there. When you jumped into the listen, you can already tell the teamwork aspect was there. They were counting down 1, 2, 3, chow. Make sure everyone is in sync because you know how fast Surge can play at
Yeah,
times
04 was
when
shooting, man.
communication is leading.
Surprisingly, they didn't win though,
the
because
way they did,
04
really
was,
setting the
yeah,
tone,
was
spawning
making
in
some
late
plays
because
there.
Nasty was their hero in the beginning of this game. It was only a matter of time before Thieves doing the fundamental things correctly, holding down certain hard points, finding early breaks, led to a great victory in that map number 1.
Really clean stuff. And I think in terms of, again, trying to evaluate what we have yet to come, you look at this hard point, and that is a hard point that can maybe best what we saw from FaZe, or at least be able to match and give them a run for their money. Now, in the actual series that we're in right now, though, how much do you look at map 2, 3, and 4 now for Vancouver having to win because that Rio Surge is still map number 5? Does Surge have to win these next 3 to win the series?
Without question, they have been undefeated so far this weekend in Search and Destroy. They have been battle tested on High Rise not once, but twice, and they were victorious in both. It's an absolute square up. 7-4 on one side for the Thieves, 7-3 for Surge on the opposing side. But if you are Vancouver, you cannot afford to go up against this Thieves roster and chow them across the map, because one thing that they do great is always finding a first blood.
Yeah, it's a really good point. The only other kind of element, if you want to throw it in as a factor here, is the fact that we have seen this Vancouver Surge team twice on the map here this weekend, and it's looked good. So even though the regular season tallies have this as a pretty neutral battleground, Vancouver is going to be the team happy to see it pop up. Not that 100 Thieves will be upset about it, but again, the recency bias definitely leaves us looking at this map as a favor towards Surge. But I think you're right. You know, regardless of how you've played it so far this weekend, Thieves have looked miraculously good at finding first blood safely, not getting traded out, taking 4v3s early on in the round.
And the good thing for them is that they're SMGs who are playmakers, because you heard in multiple interviews with Prem, he said, we couldn't really figure it out. We could not get in sync and Search and Destroy. But so far this weekend, they have figured out that aspect.
Good point.
Those calculated risks are big. When you're going to be that island player is how you're going to cost your team or win your team the game. So Krem, if he's going to play that same exact role, you have to make sure you're making that big impact plays.
Should be a fun one, man. I think, again, just based on what we saw from map number 1, this feels like every single map will be kind of a heavy contest, a very back and forth affair in a lot of ways. Will that continue to be the case, or can Vancouver provide the response that they need to get this series?
All right, let's do this. Oh no, it's High Rise. Whoops. I knew that was the next map.
They would have to win this plus map 3 and 4, avoiding that Rio Surge for map number 5. We'll see if that occurs. Vancouver on the opening offense. Hook tosses a stun out towards A, but has full intentions of trying to play through underground.
Yeah, no trophy systems to work with in these early rounds. So a couple of stuns are going to be able to connect. Thieves gaining a little bit of info. But they go into the default setup, playing real safe in the back of their spawn. Got one player roaming in bottom pit and Joe Deceives, and it seems like the pressure's about to be on.
Ooh, Joe Deceives with the first blood.
tally.
Nice.
Brezzy, the one to fall. Bomb also drops because of that. And with that, look, this is what we're talking about. 100 Thieves find a first blood, and then immediately back off, play the full 4v3 from here. 45 seconds to go.
Usually when Surge find themselves in the man disadvantage, someone tries to go out and potentially make a miraculous play. And it usually falls into the hands of Hook, but he is that bomb carrier. You got to work your way back to that objective, but here comes the double pinch from Thieves.
I think that little push-up plus a boost of watching the lane, though, allows them to know that they can make at least a plant occur. Kremp, good timing. Difficult through the barriers over towards Elevator, and eventually trades will come through in favor of Nasty. So the numbers situation, again, able to allow 100 Thieves a very comfortable retake.
Fantastic plays to start it off from Joe Deceives to win that one-on-one through underground onto Brezzy. And then in the 3v4, they realized, okay, they're not showing any presence over towards blue, so let's just decide to push on through it. But we're not going to send just one player. We're sending two on two different angles. They gave up the B Street. Surge were thinking, okay, we can work this objective down for free. We got propane control. We should be good on this post-plant scenario. But they were just not expecting that pinch to develop so fast out of Thieves. They take round 1.
And that's the thing that I like about how Thieves, like what we talked about just a moment ago, when they find an opening first blood, especially from the defensive side, everyone backs off. You don't allow Seattle to come forward and find an easy elimination. And then you essentially retake the whole map in a 4v3 form. Really clean stuff from Thieves. And now they get their first crack at the offense. Focus down mid lane, and that's enough for first blood.
Another one for Joe.
Opening focus for Thieves, finding very early elimination.
And also knowing your opponent. Surge are always going to be the aggressors. So Hook is not able to find success around bottom blue. Again, the man disadvantage for Surge, but a lot of presence over towards B Street. You're just simply outnumbered, though, because Thieves still have all 4.
Nade's going to come over the top of this B site. Before still holding deep inside, and he may catch timing here. Joe is trying to stick in the corner.
Good trade, good trade.
Numbers still favor that of 100 Thieves. Brezzy trying to make a move from the
3-1
outside of the map.
or 3-2, I mean.
Try to join up with Abuza.
He might. Oh.
100 Thieves just back off, and they just absolutely allow Surge to come forward. They're spinning a web, and Surge are just flying right into it.
Every time they have the man advantage, even if you're able to spot one player from the Thieves, there's someone there for the trade. Phenomenal plays out of them to find that early first blood onto Hoop. Probably don't want to be aggressive early into these rounds. You want to slow this game down because this is a high-pressured match to make your way into the grand finals at the EWC. But right now, Thieves, they're just playing correctly.
Yes.
In Search and Destroy, this is how you win. You were in a 4v3, you traded out, you will have at least one player left at the end.
Do not let your numbers advantage go to waste. It's just good, clean, efficient search. May not be flashy, but it works. It works very well. So now all of a sudden Vancouver going to take a little bit of a page off the Thieves book, just kind of playing a bit passive through mid. Going to try to see if they can scout anything out that may have gotten aggressive, but not to be. 100 Thieves is, again, just playing this 2-2 split very comfortably.
This time Joe Deceive switches up his spot.
Oh, that nade. Damn.
Across the map is able to find that kill onto Kremp.
Well, there's the first blood for the Surge. We'll see if they can.
Already showing a lot of presence over towards B Street. You have top propane. Let's just get this bomb down.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
This could work.
Oh my God.
It comes down to the timing.
He didn't see him, huh?
And I think he's actually checked to see there is no plant yet.
And the thing that's scary is that Brezzy was the guy holding down top propane. He now has to give up the positioning to work this objective. Joe Deceives wants those gunfights back. He has everybody one shot, but Hook takes care of him. 0-4 finds Nasty.
Okay, all right.
1v4, you stand no chance.
Well, Vancouver with the first round. Okay, okay.
But Vancouver able to secure their first round off of the first blood.
I mean, I think if you're taking that evaluation, he did time it correctly. It's just a bullet away from finding a two-piece. Sometimes it just be like that. But good response from Surge. They get the quick trade. They also read the surrounding presence from Thieves right afterwards, and they don't drop a single member after the first blood comes through. So good bounce back for Vancouver.
Definitely helps when you're hitting a sticky grenade, Semtex over the map onto Kremp over at that A site. So now they go back to the defensive end. It was slow and steady, wins the race for the Thieves players, and you allowed the Surge to walk right into you. And this time, they're just going to take B Street away.
Yep. But Nasty's watching. First blood is good again. And again, 100 Thieves don't push anything afterwards. It's just sitting there and saying, we know you guys have to make some sort of a move. Abuza now going to get isolated.
Did I just miss those first two kills? Jesus Christ. Okay, I completely missed those kills. What the hell? I'm so tired. I have 4 hours of sleep, so.
This is what Surge need to get better at. They want to try to make this S&D
what to say, to be honest.
Because when you find that first blood early on, or when you're first blooded, the second player in Hoop, or one of the SMGs always tries to be a playmaker, and then you get caught.
Oh, there it is.
3-1
to 100 Thieves.
Another first blood in favor of the Thieves. Instantly turn it into a 4v2. The double chow comes in over towards B Street. Then you work the plant. 4 up, 4 down. Clean round from Thieves.
Yeah, I think if you're Vancouver, you need to take a little bit of a moment here and just start playing a little bit more patient, right?
Take a breath.
Yep. I won't say that they're trying to force things, but their identity in Search and Destroy has always been to try to be a little bit more aggressive, and that's just not working out to this point. So we'll see if those adjustments will come through. As we'll swap the sides and do it again.
Now Thieves back on the defensive end. They decide to change the pace up a little bit, and yeah, it's going to be Dan Ghosty applying a little bit of pressure over towards B Street, not allowing Vancouver to take propane for free.
Ghosty does get stunned, but ultimately not really affected. It will at least keep JD a little bit more avidly aware of what could possibly be happening over towards B. 04. This is a route with an MCW, tell you what. Trying to see if maybe he can catch a jump up peek through the window. Not going to happen. Instead, there are shots behind him. First blood, Cali, but 04 behind the play, and that's going to work out to break down the defense.
Perfect timing right there to 04 to hit that hop up to find the double. So man advantage in favor of the Surge. And I don't know if you're going to have a read that. The Thieves are super aggressive over towards B Street. Some bad Call of Duty timing in favor of Ghosty, but 35 seconds to go.
Yeah, really good patience here for Brezzy.
Oh,
not trying to force for an
damn.
early plant. Yep, let that play towards A. Come back over to the other side of the map. You've got high ground control
Get
at
caught
helipad.
right there.
No reason
Jesus.
to do anything too crazy. And that, I won't say is a page out of Thieves' book, but it is a good counter, a good read, saying if they want to take these long-range AR gunfights, let's see if we can sneak behind them a different way.
Yeah, so far, both squads are playing their numbers advantage basically perfect. So they're going for those double chows, making sure that they're effective on those trades, but 04 just catching his timing. Was ready for the double to come on in. If you were Nasty, you were supposed to be the player on the jump up to at least potentially find that call out. But he catches the timing for Surge to secure their second round.
And I think the good thing about that from Surge is that Hook doesn't immediately try to push out A. He's going to let the 100 Thieves defense come a little bit closer towards the helipad, and then he just sacrifices his life for the cause. So good micro decision-making moment there for Vancouver, getting us back to within one. And how about it? How about a patient setup now all of a sudden for Surge? Definitely getting a read that Thieves aren't going to try to challenge anything too early. Let's let them come to us.
Surge should get a read already. So there's a lot of presence over towards B Street. This time 04 playing that hop-up spot. But it's Kremp on the jump-up. Already working his way behind
Oh,
that.
Kremp with the first blood?
No one was
Kremp with
watching
the
Thieves
second?
at all.
Jesus.
Brezzy was deep in
Nasty
spawn.
with the
Kremp just pops
third.
and finds two for free in
Damn.
the back of the site.
And that
That's
is
just
it.
a
Wow.
A missed setup right there for Vancouver. Flat out, that shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Absolutely not, because you're already getting the info. There's no stuns, no nades over towards B Street, so they're either working bottom pit, you're watching that already. They're not there, so they have to be working their way around blue or helipad side. Someone has to commit on that hop-up, and Kremp makes him pay for it. He jumps up, catches the first blood, and then he's able to find another double kill after that for 3 on the round. Thieves in a nice little comfortable lead now, up 4-2.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, that's the one hole in that whole defensive setup that comes through.
Oh.
But it does feel odd. I mean, if you're going to invest all of your resources for Surge to watch B Alley, know that someone's going to be able to watch that mid-cut close, and someone's got to watch the A side of the map. So, bit of a missed setup there. But regardless of it, chance to still battle back. Not too far out of reach yet, but it's getting close. 100 Thieves up 4-2.
And I'll just let the play clock wind its way on down if you are Thieves. No need to force anything. The pressure is going to be on Surge to potentially start this comeback. They are now working their way through bottom pit. All blue control in their favor. But Jonas Thieves getting stunned. You're going to send in Hoop for that kill.
Yep, that's again just a heavy-handed hit from Surge. And this time they do read that Kremp is trying to play aggressive on the backside of it, but they get Nasty involved for a double. There's still one more nearby. Brezzy does take down Ghosty, so Nasty knows he needs to back off to try to reset this 1v2.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Wow.
At least for the first kill.
Okay.
Nasty working on the
1v2.
ace. 1v1 versus Brezzy.
Brezzy's seen him. Opening shots are in, but the follow-up. Oh, my goodness. Nasty was a bullet away from securing it. Not to be, though. Surge, hang on and bring us back to within one.
That was a close one.
It starts with that first blood onto Joe. That stun is able to connect. No trophy system able to keep him alive in that scenario. And then on the opposing side, Kremp tries to make up for that first blood. Instantly chows in towards blue. But that was basically exactly what Thieves did to them on one of their attacking rounds. 4-3.
And I will say, again, just from the adjustment standpoint, Vancouver's offense has made the right reads. The first round, it's just a delayed hit towards A, get up the jump wall, find a free double. This time it's, let's isolate the player towards underground late into the round. So they're finding good adjustments on the attacking side. Now it's just down to can they do it defensively.
Need to, and it's not going to be easy because Thieves on the season are the #1 attacking team that we have on High Rise. And it all usually starts off of the back of that first blood. So you can already see the Thieves slowing it down, trying to get an early read because they gained a little bit of info that someone is pushed up towards B Street.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. This is all about can Thieves find a way to keep 04 out of the picture towards elevator side. Meanwhile,
1 HP?
1 HP, and through the cracks of the barrel, Nasty's able to take down Brezzy, but further action starts to ensue over
I'm
the
gonna
B
go
side of the
ahead
map.
and
04 trying to
send
get
a quick
active, and
text
he will
message
find
here.
Kremp, who is low on health. So all things told, we get to ourselves a 3v2 situation in favor of Vancouver, which forces Joe to make a play.
Joe's already going to have those covert sneakers on, so he's going to be dead solid on his pinch onto Abuza, but he's playing a corner. And I don't know if Joe's going to be ready for it. He's actually going to read it. And then the snap onto Hook for the double. Now a 2v1 left up to 04.
04, though, does he get any information on the cross? Oh, no, he's studying inside the elevator, so he's just playing to see if he can find timing over towards B, and the plant's going to come through.
But if you're the Thieves, you already know where 04 was. He was able to at least take down one of your players at this propane area. He couldn't have gotten far. Bomb goes down at A, 40 seconds to go.
04 can't see the exit either, so he's going to have to do a lot of figuring out in terms of where this 100 Thieves post plan is. And he's taken the long route over towards window side, and I believe the Thieves have now seen him. Yep, sure have. No way you get out of windows here. 23 seconds on the clock. 04 trying to make something happen. Thieves are on the hunt here. Hold on. Timing could actually work out, but not going to happen. The gunfight win comes through, and 100 Thieves get to map point.
That show to see is just making those kind of heads-up plays, those risk-taking plays, working his way through underground, making sure that he has his manners to close the door behind him so no one is able to get that info early on to give the comms to Abuza. But reads that first kill, and then the snap onto Hook just completely catches him off guard. You get the bomb down at A. There's so many spots you got to account for. And Joe Deceives was ready for that final fight. He finds 3 in a row in that round. As we take a look at it again, the first shot was great, but the second shot even better. That is versus a world champion, and now Thieves at game point.
Vancouver have had a great set of offensive rounds in a row, but they need this one more than ever. And
all right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Over towards B alley, and wow, they almost take down Abuza.
I guess I missed a whole round.
Not gonna happen. We stay 4v4. A late trophy keeps Ghosty alive.
Perfect timing for that trophy. Come on in, still hold down these power positions over towards B Street. Because you know if you're Surge, you cannot commit your way out towards Blue to work your way at A. You have to go over towards B because neither player has dropped on either side.
Abuza's been seen again. This is 2 ARs over for Thieves on the B alley. Hook tossing the trophy system up.
Okay. I need to lock in. Come on. Thieves with the game point or the match point right here. Not the match point, Jesus Christ. The map point. Oh my God.
Not able to be a part of this play towards B.
Can't talk right now.
Over towards this A helipad.
Too sleep deprived right now.
I don't know if Hook's gonna be ready for the gunfight.
All right. Oh, Joe Deceives. Oh, nice clutch from Joe. And they might be able to. That's it. Wow.
And that is going to be the Thieves securing map number 2, up 2-0 in the series, handing Surge their first S&D loss of the weekend. And now you're sitting comfortable.
You got to think to a certain point. I know we talk about this maybe kind of half-handedly at times as commentators of there's a lot of film on certain teams.
For sure, yeah.
On a certain map on a weekend. 100 Thieves haven't played this map yet this weekend. Surge have played it a lot, and we've gotten some really good looks at what they provide. And it did feel like 100 Thieves looked at it and said, hey, if we get first blood, which we often trust to come by way of our ARs, let's let Vancouver come to us because we know they're going to try to get to a 3v3 quickly, and that's how they punish them.
Especially because you were disregarding all the AR players on the side of Vancouver. You know that the way that Surge finds success on a map like High Rise is through their SMGs finding success, making sure you're covering your bases through bottom pit. Even with Joe Deceives falling in that one round where he did get first blooded, this time they make the adjustments. They 3-stack over towards B Street. They take that completely away from Surge. And all it came down to was just focusing on those SMGs. You shut them down, you are able to secure the map. A 6-3 victory there. Now up 2-0 in the series, they are looking for that rematch versus FaZe.
7 first bloods. Send it to the next map.
Yep.
That's the only analysis you need. No, there's literally so much that you could look back on. And it may not have been like the sexiest search and destroy. We didn't have 1v2s, 2v4s, but legitimately, in terms of how you put together a chess game, that is absolute perfection from Thieves. Perfect reads on Surge every single time. A couple of decent adjustments for Vancouver, but it just never really felt like they were able to control the identity of what this map looked like.
Thieves are just a lot better at playing in number situations, slowing the game down, realizing, okay,
for sure, no, Thieves has been playing really well as a team, actually.
Even if you're on the defensive side, because if you allow that bomb to go down at B for free, then it's basically going to be GG because they were also the #1 team in close play.
I mean, I do think at this point, the only team that might be able to give FaZe a match is Thieves. How they're playing, as long as they're playing like that,
You go one
They
for
should
one
be
for
good.
one for one. There's one player left standing.
I
It's
still,
usually gonna be a player on
I
your
don't
side
think
who
that
has the
Thieves
four squads.
is gonna take it. They are the underdogs.
they are
Pretty much the
playing
odds
fantastic
are
this championship Sunday.
on
Legitimately, I
not
think
on
the
their
way I kind of
favor at this
recap that
moment.
map
So
number 2 is in 2 ways. Number 1, there's
we'll
beauty
see.
and simplicity.
We'll see if they
Take
can
your
pull it
advantage,
off and
win.
get
The other side of it, that's just good old-fashioned boring search. You know,
get that
don't
win.
do anything crazy. Just play your angles, trust each other, and it works out near perfectly for the side of 100 Thieves. So now all of a sudden we need to start building up how exactly the Vancouver Search could look at the remaining maps in terms of finding a way to reverse sweep. It starts with the Karachi control and then goes into a Karachi hardpoint. What's your thoughts, Jay?
Karachi control hasn't really been a good map for them throughout the entire season. But now that your backs are completely against the wall, you have to play some of your best
I need to
Call
fix
of
a
Duty.
couple
It's just
things
the way
here
that
real
100
quick.
Thieves are simply outclassing them in that teamwork aspect. That's all all control simply comes down to.
And it looked like after day number 1, 100 Thieves figured out what went wrong when they played Karachi the first time around. So it's a difficult ask, but the question will stand as we send things to a break and come back for map number 3 in Karachi control.
All right, there you go. How to fix a couple things here really quick. Let's see. There you go. Done. And then this one, yes. And most recent sub, beautiful. And then we're gonna go ahead and just fix a couple things here. There you go. That should make it a little bit better. Aha. Beautiful. All right, we got a 2-minute break here. I'm gonna go stretch a little bit. My back is killing me, so I'll be back in just a minute, guys. And we'll continue watching the games here. LA Thieves just completely running over the Surge. So yeah, we'll see how they continue here.
You ever wondered how a Hollywood movie is shot? On a Sony. You review it on a Sony. And how do you make that sound epic? You record it on a Sony. Lunch break on a Sony. So why wouldn't you watch it on a Bravia by Sony?
So far, it's been pretty much all Thieves controlling tempo, controlling the identity of the series. Great news for Thieves fan, Jay.
Fantastic. You're up 2-0 in this series. Now you're going into a Karachi control where you have played it versus Optic. You got slammed, but at least you were able to learn from your mistakes.
And I think the thing about it is it's been methodical, it's been clinical, and we got our toy back. We'll Telestrator segment for you guys over how exactly Thieves were able to make Vancouver really change things up pretty dramatically in terms of what they wanted to bring to the high rise. This is in round number 2. So as you get things going immediately, what we talked about very quickly was the fact that Vancouver loved to play aggressive. This time it's a double hit down bottom, straight up towards mid, trying to take that A side of the map. That doesn't really work out all that well. First blood comes through, and then this is what we were talking about, Jay. This is all about Thieves backing off and putting themselves into a position to where they can group together. You're going to see nades cook. This is all about trying to throw it all the way down towards the play player on B Street. And then as soon as you start to see the action unfold, they get all the way aggressive to take B Street away. It isolates 04 on the site. You don't know what's at mid anymore. You don't know where this hit's going to come from. And even though 04 does a decent job of stopping this hit initially, the follow-up is so good because Thieves are able to help each other out. And then again, as soon as they get the elimination, you think pick up the bomb, plant, not actually going to happen. You've got good control down one lane, good control through mid, and once again, Vancouver's trying to hit routes to stop this in a 2v3. Doesn't work out for them. You see how the action starts to unfold as we finish off the clip. You got action trying for Vancouver to force a second engagement, but look at Thieves' setup. They are perfectly receiving every single one of these follow-ups.
And it's due to the fact that they knew who they were playing against in that situation. Hook is already taken care of. 04 is already down, so now it's into the AR's hands. They are slow and steady, win the race kind of players, so we're all just going to back up. We're going to continuously play our numbers advantage. Always in a 3v2, you just want to play with that trait ability, and that's what it comes down to, because once a Boozer puts down a couple shots, you gain that info. There's two players shooting at him. Brezzy goes for the chow, but that crossfire is already set up, so the Thieves picture perfect on that search and destroy situational plays.
I feel like 9 out of 10 challengers or lower level CDL teams would likely say, we've got the bomb, we've got the site, let's plant. Not Thieves. They're saying, come back towards us. You know your win condition is stopping our plant. So again, very clear head in terms of the awareness that's needed to find the high S&D IQ, and it works out perfectly. So, Telestrator's been fun. We hope you guys are enjoying that. And let us know on Twitter how you feel about that, because I'll be honest, I want to see more of it, but I'm also a big nerd.
Yeah, you actually worked that thing pretty damn good, my friend. So, we still got to get into this map number 3, where the Thieves are currently up 2-0 in the series. This map and mode combination for both of these squads has not treated them well, but like I said, the Thieves have played it this weekend, so they're already switching it up, an all-out aggression over towards this B point.
Looking for that early breakthrough, but this is taking some time. Good hold off by Brezzy. First 2 kills goes his way, and now all of a sudden you've got Hook finding a kill off spawn, putting a little bit of pressure on Thieves. Big bounce back here to start things off for Surge as they're getting full control of the map, including the middle over towards A.
Oh, but Jodeci is able to find that double on the overextension, so you're able to put yourself on that 8-point. First segment about to come in. And the last 2 players that were alive were the SMGs for Vancouver. You're able to at least take down Hoop. First segment already done. There comes Brezzy on the pinch. All your bases covered. Everyone coming off the respawn. Let's try to extend this time early.
Good recovery. Thieves still need to work for a little bit more positioning if they want to get this full 60, and that kill may start things off on the right foot. Ghosty also following up. It's 3 for 1. Should be an opportunity to jump back on the point and get the extra 60 seconds.
And Joe's on 4 in a row, so he's going to put himself in a position to play a couple spawn kills potentially if Vancouver decide to attack over towards A again. But they are looking like they're going to wave the white flag, hit that rotation over towards B, and Kremp trying to make the heads-up play on the Brezzy. Realizes the spot, but cannot get the better of him in that gunfight. And now you're just hoping that Jodeci can stay alive in this positioning because it's so crucial.
He's looking for a route, though. He's going to get the isolated 1v1. What set of shots those are from Abuza. A late reaction, but one that is absolutely perfectly found. And now it's a 3-life lead with Surge continuing to play up through junk.
Surge are doing the fundamental aspect correctly, blocking these close spawns at red, not giving the Thieves opportunity after opportunity to just flood their way
all
over
right. Jesus. Yeah, my back is killing me right now, so I have to stretch a little bit.
At the same time, 04 finds that kill on the Ghosty. That's already 3 dead in the feed.
Yeah, really good trades from Surge. Really important 1v1s being won by Hook. And even though Thieves are still getting a chance off spawn to still hit this quickly, Surge are still dominating this front red position.
It's already 11, making 10 lives remaining for the Thieves players. You cannot afford to play trade scenarios in this situation. But they find the initial 2 kills. Hook on this pinch, though, might have timed it to perfection with the Renetti. Can he find the second? No, he does not. And now all of Surge are coming off the respawn. They still are in a position to potentially contest, but the Thieves are here.
Trophies are not down initially, but Joe, good crossing angle here through mid. Follow-up also on the way.
Oh, wow.
Takes down a second. First tick of progress going to get locked. Long route from 04 around the back, but there are 3 members on. So now you got to start to make a move. Fly out of the top roots from Hugh. Out JD on 4 in a row. Brezzy trying to pitch, but they're not going to get there in time. At 100 Thieves just win by simply stacking the point.
All it came down to was one opportunity, one double kill to go your way. You're spawning all of Vancouver now over towards that back alley. They are forced to hit routes because you know if you're sprinting down that alley, you're basically getting mowed down by those MCWs. But such a great heads-up play, and it all starts off with Jodeci finding that kill. He stays down, plays his life to perfection, allows the stack to come on in, and then the route's just way too long right there from the Surge. This has been a struggle for them the entire season on Karachi control, and 100 Thieves, they expose it there.
That's got to be a momentum killer for Surge after the opening they had.
Oh, yeah. They were dominating. They were leading by 7 or 8 lives the entire round.
Well, their first offensive approach straight towards A. Good nades, lots of focus on the utility over towards this A side street, and that's good for 2 kills. So this zone's gone. First tick's going to be at least tallied. Maybe more to come as 04 is starting to get aggressive.
Oh, nice.
Top fire, and wait, he can actually make a quick transition to B if he wants to. That's indeed the case.
He's just going to force the Thieves players to be split on their defensive look. But you did have a player in Joe Deceased push out towards Junk, so he's going to come back for free and catch that kill. That's now 5 in a row. Another one right in front of him, and he was ready for it onto Hook. 6 cruise missile now earned. You block that close red spawn, and now all of Surge trapped in their base.
Yeah, this is a problem because they don't even
Joe
get the
Deceased with the kill. Damn.
A late Septex from Hook does connect, but still, Kremp will just replace him. Moving on up and towards the barrel side at Junk, keeping this Vancouver spawn deep over towards market side. Big follow-up as Abuza will drop. And once again, Vancouver a strong start, but a whimper here in the secondary lives.
Oh, but that's a big double right there from Brezzy to take top 3 control away from the Thieves. Now that third segment is slowly getting worked on. They should be able to work to extend this game clock, and you're forcing the
Almost 2-minute time here for them to try to capture B.
So if you are the player coming off spawn in Abuza and your teammates are finding a double, this is the opportunity you were looking for.
Yeah, this is all about isolation at this moment in time. Ghosty will drop. Joe stays very healthy inside the point. 04 on the hunt. Finds him, but not before JD can find a second. 04 still alive and kicking, though. On 4 in a row. What a snap and turn on to Nasty. That's now good for 5. Contest is in, and 04's looking for a cruise.
He's playing for it. He's trying to finesse. Only 56 HP left in the dream, but unfortunately he is going to fall. And Joe Deceased again with the double is going to slow down this approach from Surge. Great pistol shots, though, out of Abuza to catch a triple. Close spawn still in.
It keeps the defense limited in numbers. Over the jump ball, 2 more Thieves.
Oh no, that nade, wow.
Septex from 04 to the front door, and he follows up
with
the third.
They're going to stack?
Can stack. 2 members in, make it all 4. Second tick, going to rapidly be captured, and there's just no way Thieves can get over the top of this wall. This should surely be a third tick, and so it will.
Damn, wow, that is crazy.
You're able to barge away into the point. That is fantastic, because on a map like Karachi, you probably prefer the attacking side, and so far, Surge, they are outslaying them to bits, even though we're all tied up in segments. Joe Deceased gave them a couple lifelines, but at least he has that cruise missile going forward in the rest of this game. As now Surge are able to tie the game up at 1. But the same defensive look that you showed in round number 1, this time you cannot allow the Thieves to break it as easy.
No, I absolutely agree with you. It feels like, again, hero moments are bailing out Vancouver. Obviously a handful from 04, but Abuza, obviously he gets the 3. Brezzy also had a couple of good moments as well, getting him to 14-7 through the first 2 rounds. Here come Thieves. Second offensive look, pretty much the same as the first, a little bit more reserved over the side of the top third, though, as they're just going to try to extend the clock as cleanly as possible. No action yet. Finally, we start to find each other, and it will be an even exchange.
Oh, that timing right there to Nasty. He's going to beat himself up about it because he knew who he was playing against. You knew that pinch was going to be open. But unfortunately, moves at the wrong time. So top 3 control in favor of Hook. Second progression slowly getting worked on. Hook's going to give up his position. Also finds that kill onto Ghosty.
Yeah.
And now if you are Thieves, you got to work your way out of your spawn because that's 3 dead.
Nasty was trying to find a route over through red to B. That gets shut down.
Will Hook be able to, will Surge be able to win this map here?
They get Junkyard control. Good elimination on towards Hook. Allows Thieves to spawn towards market and maybe have a chance from the high ground to jump into A. And with that kill from Kremp, they will do exactly that.
Yeah, it's fantastic place from Kremp to dominate over towards top 3. That double is going to allow that second segment to be complete.
Wow.
What was that?
Take another shot at this.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 04 pushing the issue over towards P3 side, so this is forcing Thieves to spawn to the worst possible position, and the setup is perfect from Surge. Hook finds another on towards Kremp. Trade is decent for at least the numbers situation, but it's not enough to get any influence on the point itself, so now we're down to 40 seconds.
Okay, Surge might have this right here. Might be able to have the defense.
Still trying to contest it. The shots even better. So far, 15 non-traded kills out of Joe. He's looking for a little help by the rest of the guys, but third segment is coming in. Time is going to be extended, and now all they're looking for is one opportunity. Nasty starts it off for the first. Now there's only one player for Surge here to contest.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves are just forgetting about Abuza at mid-map. They want to put the pressure on the zone. Problem is, Brezzy's in a good spot backside alley to at least stave off some of this hit. Not enough to get through Joe Deceased, though. Now on 3 in a row, 19-11. Here comes the return, though, from Surge, from both sides at the same time. It's going to force Joe to have to do something unbelievable. And so far, he's good for it. Are you kidding? On 5 in a row, 21 and 12. It allows Ghosty a chance to jump back in, but Brezzy on his follow-up life is good to clean up the point with the exception of Kremp, but Abuza finds him, and Surge will get back in.
Yeah, Brezzy doesn't catch that double. That's 100 Thieves taking another attacking round here. But a clutch double always is going to allow you to reinforce your way back on in. Now the Thieves are going to slow down this round a little bit. They're able to find that first kill onto Abuza. They put themselves in the advantage situation with the numbers.
04 looking for a pinch, topside fire. He'll be right behind this Thieves hit, gets the first cleanly, looking for kill number 2, but it doesn't make much difference if he finds this or not because Brezzy is behind him and the kills are good for Vancouver. Down to 50 seconds. Spawns are still close for Thieves. Maybe a chance to immediately try to respond here.
This might be a potential call of the cruise missile if you are the Thieves, but they are falling like flies. That's 2 dead already, even though the close spawns are in. Brezzy and his teammates are combining for the team shots. Now no more respawns for the Thieves, but Ghosty, he has snuck his way on by.
Yeah, this is actually pivotal, especially if you can find the elimination on top single. Instead, he backs out. That plays his life. And that's from Ghosty. Trophy system now down. Thieves are flooding from the front. These are their final lives, though, so it has to be perfect. And Kremp and Ghosty are spamming them out.
No freaking way. Damn.
Right at the end.
I thought Surge blew it up in that round number 1 defense, but that one is way worse. There's no more respawns. You allow a player to work his way through red, find a freebie, and at the same time, Nasty finds the second kill. Every single time in control, all it comes down to is a 1 double. You put yourself in a man advantage. Then you send up the stack, and that's forcing the players from Surge to play a lot quicker. Hit that hop over. You don't find any success there. And the Thieves, even though they are getting outslayed
that was
heavily,
insane.
they take another attacking round.
Unreal stuff, man. Making something out of nothing. Lemonade out of lemons, whatever you want to call it. It is just about as heroic as it gets. 2-1 the count. Cruise missile still in the back pocket. Lots of utility. Again, thrown over towards Kremp, who's learned his lesson. And wouldn't you know it, it's a self-nade coming out from Hook and 04 fighting each other. And Kremp follows behind that with Ghosty for support. One more to grab his Hook over the top of the barrels. And you know Ghosty's all gas, no brakes as he finds the kill.
And the cruise missile did get invested out of Joe. He wanted to keep them trapped in the spawn to allow
It didn't get any kill though, but that's okay. Ghosty is insane right now.
Make it 7 in a row with the pistol, and he's able to find it.
Will they take it 3-0 here? 3-0? Oh my god. Oh no.
Vancouver. Will it blend? Vancouver Surge Edition. They are stuck behind the cafe. Ghosty locking down tire side. A double stack over towards Junk. And you got Nasty just playing quarterback up top, calling the plays. Oh my goodness. Surge are absolutely
okay, wait, hold on.
Opening though through market.
They might be able to get out.
You have to try to extend this game.
Also
able to find that kill onto Kremp, so that's already 3 players taken care of. The cruise missile from Ghosty is going to get called in. You're forcing Vancouver to put themselves indoors. You also keep your teammate alive over at the junk area. And now if you are Joe Deceives, you can work this pitch.
How does Ghosty take down Abuza but not his teammate? That is some next level finesse around some very thin shacks, and now you've got a pinstripe kill feed favoring that.
20 seconds.
Keeping the A zone open.
20 seconds, and the Thieves will be going into finals.
Make their way in towards A, and it's Brezzy, because of course it is, able to get the second tick, 3rd on the way.
Now if you are to deceive, this is the decision.
No.
You do not want to allow this last bit of contest over at this A point to give all the map control in favor of the Surge. But thankfully, they got players like Kremp who are doing the dirty work, blocking that back spawn, and then Joe Deceives and said Crank catches the timing on 04.
Brezzy on top though, good for his 28th kill. Hook still following up through the middle. Vancouver trying to force their way on in.
Oh no.
Joe deceives, but only finds damage. Brezzy lives with 1 HP, and now Surge can keep the clock stopped with 2 members on.
They have to focus on that flank too, because Kremp did just pick up a kill, so they're trying to really.
Oh, you saw him right there. Oh no.
He's sliding.
Oh no. Oh, he's trying.
He can't do anything because he's trapped into the bus. That's all 4 dead, and Vancouver
no
are going
way.
to be able to take the attacking round when it looks like they had absolutely
and I
no
think Vancouver Surge has a defense because of the kills.
Trapped to triple stack
wow.
in the blink of an eye. Wow.
That's brutal.
What a set of rounds we've had. And now we start to get to the question mark of who gets the offense.
No, it's Thieves, without question.
Okay.
They are getting outslayed. There's only 2 players positive, and Ghosty's positive 1, Jodeci's positive 6, everybody else sitting at -10. Guaranteed they get offense here.
All right. Let's see if Vancouver can do what has not been done to this point, and that is win a defense. No tools in terms of things like cruise missiles either. What we've largely seen for this Vancouver defense is trying to win that top third side with a lot of early nades towards that A street. Will that continue to be the case?
Brazzy is on 4 in a row, so he could potentially earn himself an early cruise missile with a double. If he can find it early on, nade over the top. This time he's able to connect onto Joe. So they take the man advantage early on, and now they're trying to take top 3.
The trophy system just does not quite get down in time. The frag eliminates that, plus also the initial carrier of JD. 100 Thieves through the middle of the map, finding a way to get on to stop the clock, but Hook up top, a force to be reckoned with, and he's going to set up his teammates to completely overwhelm the A site, leaving Thieves trying to reel coming out of spawn.
Brazzy's on 5 in a row. He wants to play his life as long as he possibly can, because this cruise missile can play a big part if they're going to walk away victorious. He's able to find it, and at the same time, Hook on the opposing side is on 5 in a row. 2 cruise missiles will basically get the job done.
One shutdown here, though, onto Brazzy leads to wide open pastures for Thieves trying to streak over towards the B side. Joe Deceives in a little bit of trouble. Hook was the one throwing the initial shots, and now all of a sudden Vancouver have the crossing angles to make this very difficult, but you only have 04 pushing the issue from the front, and Hook will follow up, essentially using him as bait for a second cruise missile.
So now that's 2 cruises. You instantly want to invest one here. There's only 30 seconds left. Call it in. You're forcing the plays from the Thieves to play indoors. It's coming raining, as Hook is going to be able to at least connect onto one player. There's a double that he could potentially find, but nothing is going to be able to get done with that cruise.
Damn.
But you still got players shooting their guns.
I'll say 04 was on the chase. He only found one of the 2 players, though, for Thieves, so hold on a second. You've got Thieves still alive and well over towards the A site. Abuza's going to take control over towards Junk, so this could be an extra 60 seconds here for 100 Thieves. Are they calling a second cruise here? No. Yes, they are. Oh, they don't get the point. This is a huge 1v1. Crip wins the first. If he finds Hook, this is going to be the extra 60 seconds. No more cruise missiles.
Now that's a double coming in. If you are Crep, can you find this next wave of kills, or at least the teammates off the respawn are able to retake over towards that junk area? They do not get those close spawns. You need one more set of fights to put yourself in the advantage position. But now a minute left on the game clock. Everything tends to slow down at this point.
First shots are good. 04 reclaiming the top side at red. Difficult fight for top single window. Pistol up, but 04 beats him to the punch. Now it's just down to the Thieves, making sure they can come out of spawn safely and maybe find something to the middle of the map to get over towards B, but it's all being shut down by the SMGs of Vancouver.
And Nasty working his way around this pinch. He's able to at least find 1 kill. Sitting nice and comfy at the top AC. Brazzy trying to line up the angle, but Nasty just wants to play his life, and he does it to perfection. There goes a double.
No way.
Make it a triple, and now the Thieves are in.
Here we go. It's going to be a stack. The only player unaccounted for is Hook. But look at Joe Deceives. He knows realizes this. He knows there's someone playing on the flank, and he finds the kill. Now it's just down to what can Vancouver do through the middle of the map.
Oh my God.
It's a 3-0. Oh my God.
Not twice, but 3
wow.
times as 100
That's
Thieves
insane.
take it in 3-0 form.
Even when you think the Thieves do not have opportunities, just the fundamental aspect of playing your life in control allows them to get the job done here in a clean 3-0 versus the Surge. It was 1-1 on the season. Now they edge them out to make it 2-1 versus this roster. But man, oh man, the teamwork, everything was clicking. You can only imagine what the communication is sounding like.
That is insane.
That is going to be
a
the
3-0, that's
care of business
crazy.
in a clean 3-0 fashion. Now put their ticket.
Wait,
in
hold
that
on.
Grand Finals
Did I get
rematch
another sub
versus
here?
Atlanta.
I'm at 131. When did that come in?
100 Thieves for a grand
What the
final.
hell?
And the first ever
Whoever subbed that
esports
didn't
World
kind of
Cup
pop up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
From this 100 Thieves
That's
offense.
interesting.
And Nasty in particular be like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Everyone saying, all right. And all of a sudden, Thieves come surging back, not to use any wordplay or puns, but legitimately they run right on through
That's
Vancouver.
crazy.
And like they had in their previous 2 offense, get the stack for the win. Unbelievable.
And without question, my MVP of that series is 100% going to Nasty, man. All the clutch double kills he was able to find in that map, number 1.
I like that
Simply
call.
playing his life as well as he did in that control, giving his teammates opportunities to make another play happen. He's always basically not getting the credit because he's the guy who always does the dirty work. But this was the moment he needed to make those plays and make big-time plays. He gets it done. to stamp his way into that grand final, man. Unbelievable performance out of the entire team, but Nasty went crazy.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely agree. I mean, the only real downside you could go to is
That is
the stat line
insane,
in
man.
map number 3,
That's
but
so
like you said,
crazy.
he's the pivot man.
Friggin'
He's not the one who's
3-0
looking
from
to
the
open things up
from the 100
single-handedly.
Thieves.
So, great stuff from 100 Thieves. Credit, though, to the Vancouver Surge for putting on one heck of a show and a hell of a run. But we've got Dan Ghosty down on the main stage in the Amazon Arena with Kayali for our post-game reactions.
What a way to get to the grand finals, but to get a clean sweep. Congratulations to the 100 Thieves, and here join me from the Amazon Arena, Ghosty. What was that? What was the comms? What was the calmness that we saw on the stage?
Honestly, just making sure that we make it feel like it was all the other days. This is a championship Sunday, but we're making sure it's just another practice day.
That was looked for us, basically complete confidence and complete calmness from you guys. Now, for the SND is going to be the sensational for them. It felt like you guys were going for the first blood and then fishing for the Vancouver Surge to make mistakes. Was that the plan? How did you guys come up to it?
Yeah, that was kind of the plan. We watched a ton of their S&D, especially their high rise, and we just made sure that we played for the first blood and then got together. We have numbers at the end of the day, so we made sure we used our numbers, and it ended up working out.
Blood indeed is what we're getting here. Also, we ask the Vancouver Surge to deliver the key for the crush. 100 Thieves are stealing the show, as we see here, advancing to the grand finals. And as we see, clean handshake here. Now you're holding that key, and your upcoming opponent is gonna be FaZe. How do you feel about that?
We already played them once this tournament, and honestly wasn't a great showing from us, and we're gonna come out swinging way harder.
The crowd is yours, literally here, a crowd of you. Is that giving you the extra boost against FaZe?
Honestly, it's definitely giving me some boost. The Saudi crowd is insane. I appreciate all y'all so much, man. I love y'all seriously. And just thank you all so much for your support. You guys are going crazy right now.
Again, 100 Thieves from the Amazon Arena back to the desk to see what our great analysts have to talk about it.
Congratulations, 100 Thieves. They power through to the first grand finals I've seen from these guys on a stage this big. And you just banked $320,000 with that last round of control. I got Glazer, Alleycat, and Nameless.
Jesus.
And Nameless, I want to start with you. Dan Ghosty at the end of the round. So clutch. But what else did you see in the final moments of that game 4?
Massive plays by Nasty, staying alive top AC. You saw the numbers advantage was on the side of Surge. They had the advantage, but they couldn't track down Nasty. Brezzy trying to get that kill, but playing your life reigns supreme.
I think this series was so impressive from the side of 100 Thieves because Vancouver Surge has been a strong kind of
For sure, dude. Ghosty with the plays, man. Ghosty is freaking going off.
And downs. And the story
He's
of this
insane,
series
bro.
for me was that 100 Thieves, since that map number 1, they would play their life. They weren't over-challenging. I can see the coaches and the work that they've done with this team that you don't need to outplay. Get back to the fundamentals. If you are not in a situation where you have to go for the kill, don't do it. And that's something on the flip side, Vancouver Surge weren't doing. There was a lot of moments where they would heat up, 04 would go on a 4 spree, overheat, chow a guy deep pool, die, and then give 100 Thieves the break. So I think a little bit of a learning curve here for Vancouver Surge moving forward.
Yeah, and we talked about the fundamentals, but 100 Thieves got outslayed like crazy in Control, which is a kill-dependent game mode, and still clutched it up. We saw many, many cruise missiles coming down onto the map. I thought 100 Thieves was going to choke when Kremp jumped off the point and they got double streaked on A. He jumps out of top red, gets a 2-piece, caps at A, and gives them a second life.
And it reminds me of an old Toronto Ultra, right? They used to win maps just by playing fundamentally, and it takes one wipe in Control to get that cap, and that's what we saw from 100 Thieves, stack after stack after stack.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough thing, right? Being able to stay alive, especially when you're on those offensive rounds. And when you talk about 100 Thieves and this matchup in particular, we said Surge like to take space. They like to get pushed up in the search and destroys. And you heard Ghosty, they watched the VOD. We're going to take our time, play for that first blood. Kremp got 3 of them, Nasty got 2 of them, and those boys went off to get the win.
You can see the reactions, the smirk coming in from Byron, aka Nasty, the intensity from Dan Ghosty that we've been looking for all weekend long. Dan showed up in a big way in that final match, but I got to get your thoughts, Clay. who has been the star for 100 Thieves? If you look at the lineup, these are some youngsters. This is the next generation of talent.
Incredibly inexperienced when it comes to playing on a stage of this caliber, but in this match specifically, Joe Deceives was playing amazing.
True. They're playing so good, man.
He had the flank play
A
where he ended up getting
3-0,
behind
that's
him,
insane. They were pretty
gunning
close
move top heli.
games.
It was awesome to see him make those moves.
And Ali, how impressive is
So-
this 3-0 as we look back?
I think it's incredibly impressive. And to hop off the back of what Clay just said, I need to tell you the story of Joe Deceives because he wasn't this confident of a player at the beginning of the season. He got dropped. He had to go back down to challengers to build that confidence. The coaches knew they saw something in him, bring him back on, and he has now been performing on the biggest stage consistently. I'm so proud of him as a player.
It's time to give our Bravia MVP. Last night we gave it to Nasty. Today, it's the man we thought needed to step up in championship form. Dan Ghosty is going to be our Bravia MVP. Name was
Yeah,
agree with this
Ghosty,
one?
definitely.
I feel like you could have picked anybody.
He was
Nasty
going off
coming into mind
crazy.
as well, but with Dan Ghosty, you have to set the tone early in the series. And on that map number 1, 100 Thieves were trailing. They weren't in a great spot. We get over towards that P4 statue. Dan Ghosty, massive plays, finds a couple of kills, stays alive, waits for his teammates as we reflect back. Looking at that map number 1, Ghosty popping off early gave them the edge.
Nameless said he was a top 5 AR on the season if you're looking at the numbers. Clayster has one of the greatest ARs to ever grace Call of Duty. What did you see in this young man throughout the year, and especially this match?
Something that I love seeing out of Dan is him continuing on that leadership role, that IGL role that he brought over from Optic Texas last
sure.
year.
He was doing so good.
Phenomenal. He's like a UAV at all times, calling out exactly where each individual player is, where they're spawning, where they're going to be attacking from. He's legitimately telling his team
LA
exactly
Thieves
where
going
go,
down
where
to the
look at,
finals.
and
I don't think I'm going to
he's a big
be
reason why
watching
this
it
thing
here,
succeeded
but
right now.
And if you think about the cards that 100
we'll
Thieves
watch
would
as
go
much as
heading
we
into
can.
this season,
I
right?
might
You had
have
to
other
replace a
plans
guy
here in a
like
second, but
Octane,
we'll see what
the leader
happens.
of your roster who
We
has
might
those elite
actually
comps
jump
world
over to
champion,
7
and you
days
bring
here in a
Dan
minute.
Ghosty and some a group of kids
But we'll
from
see.
challengers who haven't had
There might
too
be a
much
break
success on
here
the
for
pro level.
them,
Well,
so
Ghosty has guided these guys and got them to a level where they're in the finals.
I
of
might
the
have
Esports
to
World
go
Cup.
take a
You might
quick
have actually
shower
just made
here.
something click in my brain. That is a perfect comparison. They needed an Octane
I
replacement.
don't know if I'll have
literally
enough time
think
to
they
take a
found
shower
mini
later, so
turret in Dan Ghosty.
Sam
we'll
LaRue, you're done. It's this man's
might have to take
turn
a quick
to
break
take the
here
stage. Our match
and go do
MVP, Dan Ghosty, a 1.43 and a hard point to go with is a minute 30, and of course a 1.06 and 12,000 damage across 3 games.
And he might not be putting up the craziest KD, right? But he's making winning plays. And we talk about that in Call of Duty all the time. You could go double positive, but you're not really having that much influence on the game. Dan Ghosty plays for the win, gets the pivotal kills, and makes sure he's succeeding when he needs to.
Love these call-outs. Let's
they're
take a
loading
look
up
at
for
our
like the
prediction
final
results.
match. So it
They
might
got
be
it
like a
almost right
10-minute,
last time, and this
break,
time
so
around they nail it.
some minutes.
56% of the audience going with 100 Thieves. It's Atlanta FaZe
I'm just
versus 100 Thieves now in our grand
put some
finals
real quick.
for $600,000 in the EWC title here in Riyadh.
I have 2 things to say about that. One, I feel like as we move on, the predictions from the fans just keep getting closer and closer and closer in percentages. And also, this is not a top 4 team, 100 Thieves. They are technically the underdog in this bracket, and now they get a revenge in the grand final against Atlanta FaZe, just like Joe wanted.
And maybe some jet lag caught up to our top 4, right? We look at the bracket here, only 2 of our top 4 all year make it to top 4. Optic bowing out in that semifinals, Cloud9 in the quarters, as well as Toronto Ultra. I don't know if it was maybe people got a little lazy, if they didn't practice enough, or maybe just a little jet lag.
I just got to say, the old school Call of Duty format, you got to be on point across a lot of matches. We had group play and we had a bracket. 100 Thieves clearly prepared, and after getting top 4 at Champs, they're looking to get the W here.
Scariest part, if you remember last night, we interviewed Kremp and we asked him, when do you like to play? He said, I prefer to be the 3rd match of the day. What's the 3rd match of the day coming up, Nameless?
Grand finals, Chris. We'll see if he can go off and search yet again.
Game 7 potentially in the making. Alley Cat, let's talk about the historics here. We have a moment. So you have Atlanta FaZe, who have been in the running for championships every single event they attend. How long have 100 Thieves been at this level?
100 Thieves have been at this level for a couple of years now, but the weird thing is they had to completely reset their roster, right? They go on, they win world championships, and they completely split up because their main AR and Octane retires. So this leaves 100 Thieves in a precarious situation of all these good players are locked up. So they have to move to challengers. They have to find the golden gems that are going to be the next generation. What do? They land on Dan Ghosty from former Optic Gaming, where he spawned in for a couple of matches. They land on Nasty, one of the most underrated ARs in my opinion, that we have had overall in Call of Duty. And then they take a chance on 2 younger SMGs in Joe and Kremp. And that chance is paying off in dividends.
Clay, we always loved Mr. Shane. He was one of the most entertaining players to ever come out of Europe. What do you think of his coaching job here in Riyadh?
I think he completely revamped this 100 Thieves roster. Even when they brought him in as an assistant coach last year, with JCap being the head coach, you saw their entire team really shift. And then this year, he's now the head coach. JCap steps back from Call of Duty, Shane in that head coaching role, and he's showing everybody why he deserves that title.
And this was one of the first times a team has truly developed a talent by bringing them in, seeing what they were capable of in Joe Deceives, sending him back down to challengers, but by way of like, we know you're going to be coming back into this roster. When he took that opportunity back on this roster, seized it completely, and they got their 2 best placings on the season.
We're going to have plenty of time to talk about 100 Thieves versus Atlanta FaZe, but first, we got a key to crush. Let's go to that live.
And here we are after 100 Thieves managed to get the win and crush the key. So you managed to get to the grand final. You already secured more than $300,000. So how does it feel?
It feels really great, but we know the job's not finished. We still got more to do, and coming out with a dub.
Give it up one more time for 100 Thieves. Let's get 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Good luck in your finals. And that was it for our interview. And now back to you.
Thank you, Atik. Awesome to have us joining us last night. He'll be in the show later on, and so will we, because right now we're going to break. When we come back, $920,000 on the line for one match. It's your grand finals after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Underrated, Overrated with Atlanta FaZe. We're going to choose a couple of these teams to see what their thoughts are about them. Optic Texas. Overrated or underrated?
I would say
underrated.
I'll say underrated.
Really? Wait, why?
I'll say underrated because they won champs.
Okay.
I think they're the only team who's won 2 events so far.
Okay.
Winning Major 3, obviously they bombed out Major 4, but winning champs, I think, can't call them overrated anymore.
Yeah.
They won champs, they won the big one, and this year, they're underrated now.
Wow. I was not expecting that answer from you. Cloud9.
I would say underrated. Yeah, I would say underrated again too. Yeah, I would say underrated.
I love Zach's pulling some.
Uh-oh.
Okay, why are they overrated, Zach?
I think overrated. They won 1 event, but I think after winning champs, winning 2 events the last year, I feel like they placed well. They just had a really mid first half of the year, which you wouldn't expect coming from a team who just won champs. And granted, they made a change coming into this year, but I think three majors having kind of mid placings and then winning Major 4 and getting second in champs, that's how they were supposed to be the whole year. So I think coming into this year, them winning 1 tournament, granted we have 1 more, I think for them, they would think that they should have done more, especially coming off how dominant they were the last year. So for me, I would say overrated.
All right, you guys both have said underrated. Why?
I would say just because of the way they finished the year. I feel like they definitely weren't playing good COD at the very beginning of the year, but I think the fact that they turned up at the end of the year when it mattered most, which they didn't win champs, so you can't really say because I feel like what Zach said, it doesn't matter if you don't win. But they did win the event before, and they very well could have won champs. But I feel like them just turning up at the end of the season, that's why I would say underrated.
All right, now this is a spicy one. Underrated or overrated? Toronto Ultra. Okay.
Yeah, I would say, because I think going into this year when they made the roster change for Dylan, I was saying that it was going to be us and them, the top 2 teams the whole year. And I feel like they weren't considered a top 2 team this year. That's why I would say they were overrated, because they did win that first event, but ever since then, there's been no consistency for them. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of just been hit or miss. They haven't I feel like Major 3 was the only time where they had a chance to kind of find that consistency and win, and they got to the finals and they just didn't do anything. Yeah. So that's why I would have to say overrated. Yeah, I would say the same. I think Major 1, obviously in the grand final they beat us, and I think at Major 1 they were the best team there. But I think after that it was inconsistent after that. So it was hard. It's hard to say they're I'm saying they're rated good. So.
Okay. Next team, guys. Underrated or overrated? Lore Gaming. That's Alex's team.
I mean, it just kind of depends how you're seeing it. I would only say overrated because I don't think that they will be able to do that much. I don't think any of the amateur teams will do a lot this event, but I think as an amateur team, I think they're a really good amateur team. But I think coming into the league or coming into this tournament, I don't think that they're going to be able to do as much as people think. I think the pro teams are going to show why they're pro teams. So I would just say for probably any of the amateur teams, they're probably a little overrated because I think people think they might come in here and show something, but I think the pro teams are going to get it done.
Yeah. Underrated?
It's hard for, I don't know. I'm like in the middle because I don't really know much about like the amateur teams. It's kind of like I feel like we're gonna obviously see like at this event, but it's like hard for me to tell because I'm not like really hard focusing on challengers like going, you know, like throughout the season. So it's like hard for me to tell where they're at as players, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna say underrated because, I mean, we don't really know much and I guess we'll see, like I said.
Yeah, no, I would say the same. I think for me, I'm not really sure who's like even on the team. I just know it's Alex.
But it's Alex.
I just know it's Alex.
He's world champion alongside you guys.
That's how I know. I just know it's Alex on the team, but I don't know who.
Got
like,
two real
players are.
Paul X. Sort of forgetting who their fourth is, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say that's the reason. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Next up, the Stallions.
I don't know.
Used to be FaZe Black.
Oh,
is that Ace?
Brack, Ace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll probably say underrated. I feel like that team
Yeah,
is probably the team to beat for these pro teams, for the lower half at least. I feel like they're coming in with straight passion. They've been sitting here winning all these amateur tournaments, and they've been waiting for this moment, so I think it's their time to shine. And I think that this is going to mean a lot more to them than the pro team that they're going to play. So I think it's kind of their event to show these pro teams how good they actually are. So I think coming into this tournament, I think that they actually might make an upset. So I feel like they're probably underrated.
Yeah, I would say like they're like the team this year in the challengers to beat. I feel like everyone always talks about FaZe Black, you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that's the top challenger team to be on to like make it into the league. So I feel like they have a lot of like potential at this event to like upset a team. I feel like they're all all the players on that team have been pretty much in the league.
Besides Dylan.
Yeah, besides Dylan. So I feel like they have more potential to upset a pro team than all the other amateur teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I think like all of them are pros in the past besides Dylan, so I feel like it has it's gonna be a lot like easier for them to play on the main stage.
Yeah, those guys got a chip on their shoulder to try to make it back to the pro scene, you know?
100%.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the roundtable of underrated and overrated with the Atlanta FaZe. Make sure you guys tune in for this weekend to see if their predictions are correct.
Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3 at the Esports World Cup. It's underway. We'll get to that, but Alan.
Yes.
Shift.
Yes, sir.
We got Stud in the building. Let's just reflect on how cool the area is first, like the Boulevard. This must remind you of home.
Oh yeah, Boulevard City reminds me exactly of home. I'm from New York City, so this is all the bright lights, the LED screens, all about that New York City vibes. It's awesome here.
Times Square vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been. I don't live there, but I've been. It definitely gives you the idea that this is a community cultural center looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's been taken over by, of course, the Esports World Cup. That's the theme, but outside of that, there's just so much to do. Good food, good music, the vibes are energetic. It's just cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been having a good time. The good food without question. I'm eating like 4 or 5 meals a day. Obviously, it's good vibes. We've been getting treated phenomenally ever since we entered the building. This place is overall awesome.
What stands out to you?
Packing calories for sure, my guy. Let's be honest. No, I think that and plus the environment, everyone who's coming together to come actually watch the events, super sick, man. We're pumped.
Let's see what the Boulevard has to offer, shall we? Right, there's so much to do here on the Boulevard, right? But the reason we are here is for the Esports World Cup. Yeah. Specifically Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Stud, you've been in the game a long time. This is different level.
This is totally different level. We got teams from all around the world. Obviously, Team Falcons representing this place. Saudi Arabia, they came out and had a showing. Challenger teams from all over the world, the pro teams all over the world, all in one place to play for the big prize.
The players are getting such a unique experience out here as well, treated so well. The hospitality is a different level. Really gets them in the mindset where they can show up and show out. But the club championship, that's awesome.
Dude, it's more than just the players. We're starting to reward out some of the teams that put together some of the best rosters across every esport, not just one. So why not give the orgs a little bit of love too, bud?
I want to do this every year.
All right, I'm down.
For now, though, let's go explore the Boulevard. All right, let's go. I was thinking, Stud, where do we go to show this place off, right? Too much choice. There's too much choice.
There's a lot of stuff to do here, man. Everything is beautiful, bro.
Bright lights, a lot of people. It's all happening.
Look, Call of Duty's all about the hype, my guy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this house of hype right now.
What do you think? I love the hype. Even when I was a player, I'm always getting hype. Let's go.
Bro, you can like build your own shoe?
That's crazy. Millionaire if you own that.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm real loud right here.
Wait, is this like one of those, like you can say like your echo all the way around?
Yeah. You stand dead center. Whoa. This is a vibe. Everywhere I look, I see handsome men. Repping my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow. Whoa. Whoa. Dude, this place is dope.
I feel like I'm in like rush hour.
Oh, this is like a wonderland.
Are you kidding me?
Are you joking?
Ian, what are you doing?
Dude, just vibing.
Vibing. What just happened?
That was awesome. I don't know what happened, but it was great. All right, back to business. The biggest and best players in the world have come out for this tournament, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 here at EWC. We can talk about the money, we'll get to that, but what do you think of the performances so far?
I think we had a lot of expectations for our top teams. And so far, those expectations in some ways have been met. A little bit of drama, but that's what the college space is all about, man. We gotta have drama.
Yeah, there were some challenger teams able to take down a bunch of pro teams. 2 teams specifically left home yesterday, so they unfortunately today didn't have the best bet. All the big dogs making it to bracket. And everybody is scrapping for that huge prize pool, one of the biggest here at the World Cup. $1.8 million, stud. That's a lot of dough. That's unbelievable amount of money. When I was playing, it was $10,000, $1.8 million. God, hey. Oh, you should have gotten a little bit later on, man. Born too early. Big prediction, who's winning?
Give me Optic for back-to-back.
I'm going Atlanta FaZe.
Whoa!
All right, well, it's still all to come. Do not miss a beat of the action here at EWC. Guys, I'm coming in.
Yep. Oh, here we go.
Sim, how does this feel? The world champs in the palm of your hand right now.
Oh, it feels amazing. I feel like especially after that sub-base we just played, we're on top of the world right now.
Taking out the world champions is a massive accomplishment. However, the job's not done here.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, we got to stay locked in for finals on whoever we play from LA Thieves or Surge, but we're excited to play.
Just collectively, right now, of course, like I just said, there's a grand final still to come, but do you feel like the best team in the world?
Always have been. The whole year I felt like that, and it's time, to show everyone.
What's your prediction? Do you raise that trophy high in the air and crush one more key right here at the end of the day?
Oh, we're definitely crushing another key, and we're definitely raising that trophy.
All right, congrats again on the semi-final win, and best of luck in the grand final.
Thank you.
Welcome in, everybody. The grand finals just moments away here at Esports World Cup 2024. But before we get down to the final 2 teams, we have to revisit all of the squads that we said goodbye to, starting with Vegas Legion, getting the opportunity to crush the very first key back on opening day. But they weren't alone. Lore Gaming and to send some opposing squads home, including the Falcons.
Yeah, and watching some of these guys crush the key has been the highlight of my weekend, I'll be honest. It's a nice, added aspect to Call of Duty tournament. These guys can get pretty toxic, talking trash, against their opponents, and getting the crush their key is sweet victory.
Cloud9 crushed 1 key. Kismet said, I'm coming for Optic Gaming's key. He fell short of that goal as Optic was able to take them out 3-1. What do you think of Cloud9's performance here in Riyadh?
It left a lot to be desired, Chris. I mean, they fall to 100 Thieves. Sure, 100 Thieves is in our grand finals. They fall to 100 Thieves in the group play stages and make this bracket incredibly top-heavy. I think that Cloud9 struggled quite a bit throughout the tournament.
And as I'm watching Breach crush this, can I just say, get Gigglewake some help. I wasn't on the desk during that segment, but he played out of his mind. And honestly, shout out to those guys having a run here getting top 8.
Yeah, he told us that they were going to win. They were up 100 points. FaZe came back and beat them. Go ahead, Alley Cat.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is just because you have 40 doesn't always mean everything, and kills don't always
How about
mean everything.
04?
But 04, absolutely. They're crushing their key as well. They did just get beaten by 100 Thieves, so they got their key crushed as well following this. But I think my favorite thing about all this key crushing is as the weekend went on, it felt more and more personal. Like, it became more and more like, oh yeah, this team dropped me, or I know somebody on the other side. I really want their key. And Atlanta FaZe, they want to put Optic's key in their trophy because of the history there. So I just love how exciting this made it and added an extra incentive for the community.
And if you're just joining us, at the very end of the tournament, the last key remaining will go into the trophy where it will be secured for all time. But you also have a slot for 3 different opposing team keys to be put in that trophy as well, Clay.
I'm really curious if they're just going to put the 3 people they beat in bracket play into their trophy, or if any of these teams are going to take any of their pool play wins, how that all works. I'm genuinely curious how they're going to structure all the keys in the trophy. I can't wait to see what it looks like, too, with those broken keys in the bottom.
Who would you put in your trophy, Clayster?
Oh, I'm
Carolina.
Definitely Carolina, and if I got Optic or FaZe's key, that's going in there for sure.
You're putting Toronto's key.
Maybe.
You versus
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.